Nice. Yeah, you can go ahead and start us and then get everything else rocking and rolling.
And then at the end of the day, you're going to sit there and be like, the fuck was I doing?
Oh, that's the
Show
chick
me
with
your
the...
big titties.
Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, I'll figure that out later. All right, 30 seconds.
It's raw, it's uncensored, it's live 24/7. It's chaoticradio.com.
I can't share the post.
Because we're not there yet.
You're cruising on a motorcycle through another dimension and time. A dimension not only of beer and rock and roll, but of twisted minds and sexy women. A wild journey of crazy imagination that has no boundaries. There's a warning, a sign up ahead. Your next stop.
All right, it's Manic Monday. It is Biker Alley. And so we've got the YouTube Mevo going yet, Bubba?
YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
I need
so,
my mic.
Obviously, you know.
Mike? Who,
we're,
me?
We're just the professionals at Chaotic Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so much professional, he didn't know how to make that post
let me
public
know.
so I could share it to my motorcycle group.
Let me know when you got to
When he goes on live, then we can share that, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
because I'll share it and then you guys will feed off of mine.
Got it, okay.
And let me go ahead and get the YouTube one pulled up here.
That's right. It is showtime.
Showtime.
Who keeps doing that? Jesus. Dave
I
back
don't
there?
know.
Yes.
It's like my new tires
Actually,
rubbing
no,
against the
really.
road.
Oh, it might help if I go on YouTube, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
It usually helps. But we're live on the radio.
Quite possibly that could help.
We are live on Chaotic Radio with the Bikers Alley, in case anybody's wondering.
All right.
All right, there we go.
What up, peeps?
Yeah.
Welcome. There we go.
As always, you have Zig the
Okay.
host, who's a little behind.
It's all right.
Chris over there.
I
Mike,
like it from
Jordan
behind.
over here. Yeah, thousands of miles, baby.
Thousands.
of miles. Hey, Dave, can you drop my mic a little bit? I'm getting too loud here.
I don't know. Too loud? I was bet that was like a sound check. She was like, you're over-modulating. You're talking too
Yeah.
close in the mic.
Well,
Quiet down.
I'm super loud as it is.
well,
so.
it just doesn't mean the microphone.
Yeah, but, it's kind of like you got to caress it, stroke it gently.
I mean, obviously Zig's mic's hot and loud because he's a host, but I swear to God, Justin's mic was always just as loud, if not louder than Zig. Maybe
It
because he
was.
just talked really loud, but
well, that's why mine always gets so loud, because I talk so loud.
yeah, well,
I'm partially
just have to
deaf.
figure out how far or how close to be away from the microphone.
Yeah. Oh, there's that, too.
Evo happening.
Oh, you had power on the
Mevo, Uvo,
Yeah.
Wevo.
It just takes me fucking 10 hours to get on the goddamn, figure stuff out. I'm not.
Zig's got this all
there we
figured
are.
out.
I'm telling you,
There we
I'm,
are, we're
I'm a
live.
techno
Ugly bastard.
idiot. There's no other way to phrase me. I am just an idiot when it comes to technology. I can't. Basically my phone.
Yeah,
I mean, my
today-
phone can do so much stuff, and I still can't operate this phone properly.
Today on Technology with Zig.
So we almost
Need to
ready
get
on the
some
Mevo,
segment.
Bubba.
Got the beer. There's pretzels.
That's right.
Pretzels and beer.
You know we're gonna hear that crunching and shit on there.
Hey,
Just want to let you know.
and
Because
Justin,
you'll
because
fucking
Justin,
enjoy it, bro.
Justin was always doing this. Because Justin would always be crinkling
Hey,
shit.
Those are that flavor's pretty good, isn't it?
And I'm gonna keep that going because Justin, that's right. He'd be
Right?
That's right. That'd be
Crinkling.
just, yeah. All
crinkling in the
those-
bag.
Actually, hey Chris, can you do me a favor, dude? Since you have a cold beer right there, can you freshen mine up right here? Because this one's like
We are live.
Can you fluff
on
it up for us,
Evo.
Chris?
I am bluff it.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Let me
Are we live on
this
face?
one again. Nope.
On-
Go back on that one. Okay.
On
By the way, whose ever show is queued up here on our recorder, I saved that file so that way I could open up a new file and record our stuff.
Oh, there you go.
But I think I accidentally recorded 2 more tracks for 5 seconds on top of something. So hopefully it was already saved.
Whose audio is on? Is that you?
I just turned it off.
Okay.
All right.
I keep checking mine
There's
now
the
since I got the
starting-
other
So what was
There's
that
the
show y'all
starting.
were saying? Like when I started playing some of it, you were like, "What show was that?"
What show?
It's the chick that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, Sandy's.
Something,
Yeah, she has nice boobs.
Ah,
Yeah.
like
thought I
extremely
remembered
nice.
hearing boobs.
So if she ever decides to, like,
Drop 'em on us?
troll through all the different shows, she'd be like, "Oh, the Zig! Oh my
at
God, that
assholes.
guy's a perv."
What up, perv? Talking about my boobs.
Yeah, you can't help it because in the YouTube thing's right here, and it's
Yeah,
right
she
here.
wears
It's
like
right there.
bowl cut top.
Actually, Lena and Bernard were on the air last night doing a Mother's Day thing, and the camera right here. So when I tuned in, the camera's right here, and Lena's like leaning forward, man, and her top's open up. And I said, "Hey, I can see your left tit." But of course, time goes by before because there's a delay,
Yeah.
and yeah, she's like, "Oh my God!" She gets up, she puts on her on a hoodie, and she's all covering herself up. What the hell? Come on, man, share it.
Well,
It ain't gonna hurt you to share the wealth.
They almost
get some
look
more
fake.
attention.
Well, it's kind of like when a buddy of yours, his old lady gets a boob job. She's always
Yeah.
willing to share the wealth. Hey, look!
Uh,
You're like, whoa!
yeah, I want to
Whoa!
hold the train. Like,
See, we already made a right turn. We haven't started the show
We
yet.
haven't
We're
started
making
the show.
a-
We're already
yeah,
on
left
boobs.
turn.
titties, beer, and pretzels.
Oh my.
This is Biker Alley. Or is it Boob Alley?
Like, what more do you expect?
Oh man! Hey, what's up?
Is
Pete?
it Biker Alley or Bikers Alley?
Biker Alley?
I've been saying bikers this whole time.
Well, we are bikers.
Oh, I tried to tell him to rename it Instructor Alley, but
Instructor.
it sounds better as Biker Alley.
It does
Love
sound
All
it.
right. So let's just toast to
Justin.
Actually, well, we have to wait till we get the shots too.
Oh, all right.
But B just walked in. Bernard just walked in to show us how to actually take phone calls. So we're gonna
Wow,
he's
nice.
gonna get a quick introduction on how to receive a phone call, so we can actually talk to people now. So which
Oh,
will
like
be
through the
phenomenal.
That
mics?
would be awesome.
Actually, Chris, if you'd like to grab the teak, there's some in the freezer, and
Okay.
then some the glasses.
Glasses.
That'd be
The
awesome.
Big, great big ones, right?
No,
Bernard, I haven't seen Bernard in eons.
But yeah, he's zipped on over here to give us.
Oh,
a
you're
little-
you're talking about you can answer calls through the mic?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, cool.
We started answering phone calls.
About time. It's only been like 5 years.
You
Probably
utilize
figure that
that
out.
instead of having to read, because I mean, my blind self, I.
But we used to be able to because I've called in the past.
Well, when
We would
when
answer
we
on the
moved
phone.
and everything changed and new internet and blah blah, it
Zig is change averse, but he won't admit it.
yeah.
He doesn't think he is.
It's
But
a
we-
slow ride change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were actually at the point because I
He
actually
thinks he's
called
okay
in.
with change, but he
I
doesn't react well to
called,
it.
I called in last night. B and Lena were we're having a little
Nice.
fun on the air. So, but Chris is coming on in. We'll get a few more people.
You know, if I just painted eyes on the
shot
back
me
of my
down.
head, it would look like I was looking at the camera behind me.
Pretty much. We should do that. We should just get
Right,
to
just for
a
one
pair of
show.
sunglasses just to have
Yeah.
with the mustache on it. Remember those? And just put it at the back of your head. That would be funny.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because you have that little crease in the back of your
Yeah.
neck would be act like a mouth. We'll put lipstick on there.
Oh, shit.
Just me and you and me and Vijay.
Keep it over
Me,
there.
you, and Vijay. That's it. Oh, not those. The skull ones.
We got Smart Rider commitment number 10
That-
here, right, Jordy?
He should.
We're
Vijay
on
picked
Smart
some up.
Rider
Yes.
commitment 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that alcohol and other drugs, I can't remember it, damn it, line by line.
Is a distraction.
It's a distraction.
And, yeah.
Other impairments.
An
blah, blah, blah.
impairment of riding ability.
Yes.
And I choose to not drink and ride
Correct.
because I'm riding.
That's
You're
right.
riding. But I love having a drink. But after the ride, have a great day of
Yeah.
riding. There's no better time. Like
Right?
yesterday, my Tito's and my Kirkland orange juice, man. It was
Did you try that? Did you
What
try
is it?
Tito's
Tito.
vodka
Oh, okay.
and
A screwdriver.
I've never used
yeah,
that.
I know. Yeah, but
I'm a vodka.
or
How is
energy
that?
drink. That's
I got
what
a
I'm
nice
Tito's
big
vodka?
bottle of
Never had it.
so good, dude.
I'm a vodka guy too.
Oh, and I put that much vodka in that glass. Yeah.
So you're like his drinks.
When
like,
you first
yeah,
take, and I
mostly-
it stuck a straw in it, and it's like the first sip is,
Ooh.
oh yeah.
warm up the belly.
Did
Yeah.
you try that single malt yet?
Not yet.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what you think about
I
it.
we'll get to it. I got the cigars still to light off, and You know, we're talking about the 50th birthday. All my stuff.
The cigars are probably all
I'm-
junk by
I'm
now. They're
like,
probably
I'm
all
really-
dried out.
Really?
Unless you
'Cause
keep
have
them
to
in a humidor like I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did Chris go?
He went to find the shot glasses you asked him to go retrieve.
They're in the freezer.
Apparently, he went downstairs somewhere and got lost. So
He went and got a hooker. He's getting a blow you real quick.
They're in the freezer.
yeah, good one. Christy's on.
At least they better be in
Yeah,
the
right.
freezer.
She's gonna be like,
She
"What?"
knows me
Yeah,
enough. She's
I
like,
know.
fucking Jordan, you're an idiot.
Dude,
I
I
like
think
the same thing everybody says knows me.
I know.
Stop being an idiot.
It's like Beth. You see that post that Ophir was like, buying bike parts on Mother's
Yeah.
Day, and his wife was apparently probably not too happy about it. It sounds like, and I'm like, I told Beth, read this. I'm like, would you be mad? She's like, no, I would just take the bike from you and go ride it.
Oh, right.
She'd be like, fine, get parts on there. I'm gonna go ride it around.
Well, speaking of bike, as Lee Parks got, we're wondering what happened to you, dude. wonder if you
I know.
got lost or
That's what I'm
something.
talking about.
I was looking for a third skull, but there is only two.
No, yeah, there's only two,
Okay,
and that's the
so
those are the ones
I'll
those are the
drink
ones
out
I
of the
use.
princess glass.
Aw, you are a princess, Chris.
Because you are such a princess. There you go.
Since your wife's not here, you
Right,
get to be
hook
our
us up
princess.
so we
Yeah.
can do our shots for Justin. Actually, speaking of Justin, before we do our cheers to him, Cassie is in her third trimester.
Wow.
She's got 8 weeks. I think it was 6 weeks to go.
Wow, Jesus.
Wow.
6 weeks to go. I'm like, oh wow, I'm so excited. I can't wait, to get that, text from mom and be like, hey, she's at the hospital. All right, which hospital?
Yeah.
I'm leaving the shop, or I'm leaving whatever the hell I'm doing. Obviously, unless I'm training. Hopefully it's not what I'm teaching, because we obviously can't leave. There's no option there,
If Justin had his choice, it will be.
right? Well, at that point,
Right in the middle of exercise 5 or something.
Right in the middle
See-
of eval too. Like,
that would be a little different. I mean, and I could compensate for that. I would just, you split the group. You take the students. Hey, that right there is a family emergency. So I'd be like, okay, you go, and then I'll just divide the students. Okay, because if you ever happen to have a situation where an instructor actually,
Oh, someone's calling. I hear phone.
We have a caller.
oh, we do. How do we already have a caller?
Chaotic Radio, you're on the air.
Hey, so I know this is Zig Zone, so can I have Zig do a shot for me?
I will.
nice.
So here, whoops. Oh, it's
JJ.
freaking me. I'm like, oh shit. We didn't even pronounce where to get
You
the
couldn't
phone
tell.
call.
You couldn't tell that was his voice.
Hey, B, why don't you grab it? Did we get B a glass?
I did not get B a glass, but I can.
So B, oh, there we
wants
go.
the
He's got the crown.
Oh, see, that's
He's gonna just kill it right out of the
Cheers.
bottle.
Hey, but JJ, we got you one right here, Bubba. So get your ass in here. No, we have one ready for you, dude.
Yeah, that's for him.
Oh, okay. Crown. The crown is my
You
my
can't
holiday.
expect him to tilt back the whole bottle. Jesus.
Okay, everybody on
I
their
thought he
hands.
was going to.
Hands.
I would,
Yeah.
but
Hands on the picture. Hands.
Cheers.
You stretch out and get to it.
Cheers.
All right, very good. Cheers. Cheers to you, Justin. We love you, miss you,
Justin,
brother.
Love you, brother.
All right. Excellent. So,
Yeah.
yes, so the phone works.
That's
so now
awesome,
we know
yeah.
what to do. You got that,
We
JJ, that
just need a
express
phone
lesson?
number now, right?
Awesome. So now if you... Actually, because I know
I
the phone
take it
number,
the
'cause I
reverb
called
was
it-
because
I
he was
called
in the
it
same
last
room?
night. So,
What reverb?
Oh, I heard the reverb of the phone ringing and other stuff. I'm guessing it's because he was in the same room with you dialing.
Oh, yeah. I had my mic turned on.
Ah.
So there's probably some bleed through.
So if you do want to call
you
into
had
the
me
show,
turned on.
it is 909-323-2626. That is 909-323-2626. And Vijay will answer will chime you in, answer the
What's
phone,
the
and then
number
we
again?
can. It's 909-323-2626. Very easy number to remember. That's an easy one. So, and I actually called in last night and was chatting with B and Lena, and. All right, where was I at on this thing here? Me and my technology again. So, anyways, back to
The baby.
the teaching thing. So, yeah, if there was like an emergency, which would be like, yeah, hey, my child is being born. Hey, I gotta go.
Right.
And I've had, times where there was like a medical emergency when it came to an instructor. It's like, okay, well, go ahead and take off, and I'll go ahead. And what you do is you just, if you have, like, say if you have 10 students, you split them in half, and you take the other half you run one half, and you have the other ones dismount. Stay off the motorcycles. You run an exercise. You get them staged in, and then you have them dismount. Then you get the other ones on the motorcycles, and you run an exercise.
So it just takes
for
a
an
little
emergency
longer.
situation.
For emergency situation.
You know what I mean? And that right there, I would assume would be an emergency situation. So if any of the instructors, or maybe even Lee or Bianco, or someone who wants to tell me, no, Zig, you can't do that, then I will never do that again. But I've only I've only done it once. But it was a medical emergency. With the other instructors. Wife or girlfriend got into an accident.
Oh shit!
And was in the hospital. And he gets this phone call from his mother-in-law or whatever, and he's like, "Oh my god, hey!" He's like, "Dude, I gotta go." Well, you gotta go. So what do you do?
Say that, or if Jordan falls over from an anxiety or panic attack in the middle of a range.
Oh right.
It actually made it club.
You like that? It kind of transferred, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yep.
It transfers.
You're a total bro.
Tickle, tickle.
No.
I'm not gonna call you Mike anymore. I'm gonna call you
Zig
bro.
and I have motorcycle tats, and we never discussed that. See,
All right.
You know, surprisingly, I
on
don't.
Moto Triple
Well,
X.
see, mine says ride to live, live to ride.
Oh.
But speaking of freight train, so we went to, and I meant to bring this up last bike rally. So we went and crashed his birthday, 50th birthday, and
We were invited.
Of course,
And we shut it down.
It was awesome.
we did shut
We
it
shut
down.
it down.
So we go walking in. He's already got family and friends there, and we walk in, and we get to the back patio, and I'm like, I go, all right, let the party begin, and the whole place got silent all of a sudden. Everyone's looking like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Where's the tequila? Let's start doing
Right?
shots.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, Chris goes, where's the bar?
Yeah.
It's right over there. That's where we went. But I tried to. I wanted to get some kind of dirt.
Oh, Zig was
I-
trying hard. He
I
talked to
did.
every single person in that yard.
I walked through that party and I'm like, going, okay, I need some dirt, and I introduced myself, and I said,
Yeah,
hey,
after about an hour and a half, Zig just gave. He looked at me. He was like, "Dude, I can't get."
No, you want to know what the worst thing I got was? Someone said that he broke a street light, like a street light.
Yeah, I
Am
threw a
when he was
baseball
younger.
through it.
Yeah, threw a baseball, broke a street light. That was it.
Do you know what people would be saying about me at a family party like that? They'd be like, "Oh, you will never believe what this asshole did."
Don't let your kids around Jordan.
Whoa.
Freight train's a freaking saint, man.
He really
He's a
is.
saint for real. So it's like, dude, I couldn't get any dirt on this guy. You're a nice
because
guy.
the one guy that was there,
Thanks, brother.
he's known you for what 30-something years. The big guy that came from out of town.
Pretty much, a handful of them known me pretty much all my life. I mean, we met kindergarten.
Yeah.
There was a lot of close, lifelong friends that were there. So it was a good time, man. It was fun.
And then,
Had a good time.
And then the other day,
Yeah,
Freight Train sends me a picture of him with a mohawk. I mean, literally a good sized mohawk. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, you want some dirt on this guy?
We were at X Games at Carson. That's what that picture's from.
Hey, if you want some dirt on Mike, right now he's got this big gray pube stuck to his back, the back of his shirt.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Now you got some dirt on
Now
him.
you got some dirt.
You know you got to look at it.
So
That's just coming out of the top of his shirt.
how?
Probably one of
So
my.
how did a pube get on the back of your shirt? That's a curiosity.
We need a camera from this angle. Only I can see it.
Oh my god. So some interesting.
Hey, I was metrosexual at one point, so it's all right. You did say you have a mic turned on back there, so I was like, "What? You talking to me?" I heard you say that. I have a
So
mic on.
we got Fast Eddie chimed in. What's up, Fast Eddie?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm
Steady's
going.
on fire. He's got like 65 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he's
to
reaching
YouTube.
100,000. I actually touched
That is
base because we had such a
fantastic.
great time with Fast Eddie the last time he was on the air, which was the last Bike Rally. I hit him up. I says, "Hey, what if we did like a quarterly thing with you? Had you come in, and we just kind of like boom, talk about different stuff because now everyone knows who he is, and then we can just start doing different stuff, techniques, and that way he gets a chance to come up with something new and then discuss it. And it's also going to give us a chance to do the Moto Jitsu things, which I still want to do.
I was going to ask you, when are we going to find
once
that?
we practice that, then have him come.
Ah.
And I'm still wrapping the whole thing of him riding on the back of his bike with no hands on the handlebars and things while he's dragging his knee on the ground. And
I would
it's
love
really
to
gonna
see
freak
Zig's
me out.
face.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wear like body armor to the team.
Oh
we,
my
we can
God.
do
But-
it. We can do it right here in the parking lot.
But the thing is I have total faith that he can do it because he has on his videos. He's got him doing it
Yeah.
with several people, and I'm just like going, wow, that is crazy. And he actually did the video with Lee Parks. They were at a deal just recently, and Lee Parks had
on Arc too.
he did a thing, an exercise with a student's bike, and then put the student on the back bike and did the same thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Lee, we went. We were at what was it? The last track constructor track before the PDW.
Oh.
He put someone on the back of their own bike,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it went around Horse Thief Mile and passed me up. Just like boom, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? The guy's just disgusting with it.
Who's
you know?
Sublimin?
That's me.
And Dave.
Don't look at me.
I thought I had it
Obviously, he
turned off.
completely forgot to turn his thing up.
Freaking Chris over here is date raping the whole room.
Yeah.
But the Zig Dog does have sponsors now. We will be getting the commercial here going soon. But we do have Ride Right, which is a train. They have a site in Corona, and they have a site in Van Nuys and Lake Elsinore, which you can touch base with them. You can call them at 951-736-8179. That's 951-736-8179. Or you can go on to rideright.net. And the easiest thing to do is if you sign up online. Okay?
Or Facebook.
I've got a few other sites, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes. So we kind of spread them apart. My bass player, Chuck's, chimed in. He said we're all gay.
Yeah, for our bikes. Absolutely,
Okay.
dude.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Chuck.
I don't care.
In fact, if you had a bike, I'd be gay for your bike too.
I love riding.
But
my
wait,
bike,
don't all
Chuck.
the bikes have girls' names? So does that mean our bikes are trannies?
Well, actually,
Thanks,
Because
Dave,
mine's
for-
name is Bruce Jenner.
Jesus Christ.
That's a good name too.
Caitlin?
Oh my.
Oh shit, my bad.
Bruce,
Caitlin.
I
not
want
Bruce.
to fuck your butt.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
actually, I'm down to 4 motorcycles now. So,
What
but
the?
Oh.
only one.
Wow.
My CBR 600, which actually
Bebe?
Mike wants. No, I sold maybe my 600
It's
Raven,
just still at the shop because of
which
something
is
else.
Freight Train hit me up and said, "Hey, let's swap bikes at the next instructor track day before the PDW."
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to ride.
Same with James Sanner too. I'm like, sure, dude. Well, I'm totally cool with swapping bikes for a session and just feel other bikes and how they
Let's
ride on
play
the track.
musical bikes.
Why not?
I want to ride his
Oh,
R1.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
You know, I've actually never ridden an R1 before, and it's Yamaha's. I always wanted one. The position for my body fucking hurts the living daylights out of me, which is why I never bought one.
That's your
But I've
position.
always wanted to
It's-
ride them.
It's
Probably
not
your
It's
position.
not a comfortable bike.
Well, that's what I
it's
mean.
not.
My body position.
I know. That's
Because of my hips. And that.
Well, so everybody knows which bikes we're going to be swapping out. So you have a
BMW, 2018 BMW R1200 RT. So it looks like everyone calls it a cop bike because all the police agencies around have them, and they're all white, and my bike's white and looks like a cop
I'm
bike.
excited
So
to ride that.
or if he's behind you, it looks like a freight train.
because of all
Yeah.
the lighting. Yeah.
Which I got a first taste of that
Oh.
on the freeway randomly.
Oh,
And I
so
knew
ch-
it was
yeah,
him
this
right
is a-
away.
I was going to get into it. Here's the story. So 3 weeks ago,
Yeah, about
I'm
3 weeks
leaving
ago.
work. I'm going out to the valley, the West Valley, to go to Larry Missman's house. Right? It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock or something. So I'm like, I'm in no hurry to get there. I'm just going to cruise. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take the 405 all the way around by the airport, all the way up to the valley. So I'm on the
Taking a long
405.
way around.
Yeah, just riding. You know, it wasn't bad until you get up towards, you know,
Yeah, on the 5 freeway. I just
yeah, north of the 10, it starts getting all jacked up. So I'm north of the 10, it's getting all tight. People are, you know,
Being
driving.
people.
Yeah, driving stupid because they're really bad in that area. They're super distracted.
Yeah.
And they don't see anything. So
Yep.
I'm creeping up through traffic, and I'm passing bikes pass me, whatever. So I'm coming up, and I'm like, there's a guy on a black bike, and God, that's weird. It looks like Jordy's bike. That's how trippy is this? I'm in freaking Beverly Hills on a 405 at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
on a Tuesday, and I'm like, I get up behind this guy, and I'm like, he's like bobbing with his helmet. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm jamming to my music.
yeah, and I'm like, God, I mean, what's the chances? I mean, getting struck by lightning might be about the same chance, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I don't even think about it. I'm like, whatever.
He didn't have his
okay,
vest on?
he didn't have his high vis
The
vest
one
on.
time I didn't wear my
So
vest.
I just was like, yeah, that's not him. So I get closer and I'm like, God, that sure looks. It sounds like his bike. It looks like him,
Yeah,
but
the bike gets so loud.
there's
you
no
get
way. I
mistaken.
mean, what's the chances? There's no way in hell. It can't be Jordy. No
Yeah.
way.
I didn't ask myself what are the chances another guy has the identical bike with that identical loud ass muffler.
So yeah, so I'm like, all right, I'll just follow him. He's, we're splitting through traffic. We're getting there.
So-
and then you dive out of the way. Jordy like dives left. I'm like, well, does that mean you want me to? I'll go by then.
Well, because like you said, all of a sudden, like, because when you're splitting lanes on like the 405, I mean, people are getting this fucking close to you, and they're almost trying to cut you off. So there's no looking in my mirrors at that point. It's,
I know.
I don't want to hit this person. So finally, I got a chance to look in my mirror, and I went, "Oh, wonder how long that guy's been behind me and wants to pass." And I see all these yellow lights and the white lights, and I went, "Fuck, that's Mike." And I dove out of the way, and I go,
Nice.
"Sure enough."
And I wasn't sure because you didn't make any. I looked at like I just did that piece like I do any other writer things, get out of the way piece, and I was like, well, he didn't act like Jordy. He didn't be like, hey, you. There wasn't any reaction. Plus,
No.
we're super focused because it's like, yeah, it's really bad traffic.
Plus, I wanted
so,
to follow him. So I wanted to see how he rode in traffic.
So yeah, so I'm like, I'm
That's
still
a big
not
bike
sure.
to be lane splitting.
It's
Yeah.
like not a big deal, but so I'm looking in
Gotta
the
make
mirrors,
sure you clear
going,
the bags.
man, it looks like his LED headlights. I'm like, it looks like his bike. I mean, like, but it can't be. No way. It wasn't until we crossed the 118 or almost to the 118, and we finally figured out. I'm like, he gets up next to me, and we're like, holy shit, that really is Jordy.
And
I'm
I,
like,
was looking at him, I looked at him, I was
No
like,
way.
dude.
I'm like, where you going? He looks at me like, where are you going? I'm like,
Well, my girlfriend lives off the 118.
He's like, I'm going to Cheech, man.
I happen to be going to
I'm
her
going to
house.
get laid.
yeah. So I get to Larry's, and of course that conversation. I'm like, you never believe what I saw on the freeway out of all people. And that conversation led into Larry meeting up with Justin in Oregon, out of all places.
Right.
Just
yeah.
pulls off to get gas
that.
at some random place in Oregon, and there's Justin, and Larry's like, yeah, but it's not his bike, can't be him, and he's like, yeah, but that hat, it's gotta be him.
Oh, yeah.
He just was like, Larry said, I just stood there and looked at him like, wow, it looks just like Justin. I can't believe this
Yeah,
guy
he
looks
texted
exactly. And
me
he's like,
right away. Yeah.
and he's like, Justin's looking at him. They're staring at each other like, what? Are you Justin? And he's like, yeah. Oh my God.
Are you Larry?
I used to see Justin like over near my house.
Well, because
Justin
he
was
lives
everywhere.
right
Yeah,
there.
it was really close, and I saw him a couple times. I'm like, damn, that's like twice the same intersection.
Right. And you ride?
I ride?
Yeah.
I don't ride.
Okay.
2015 Yamaha R1
Which
with a loud ass exhaust.
I was gonna say with a very
Yeah,
loud
It
exhaust.
sounds
Speaking of
so,
loud
I
exhaust,
love the way those motors sound, though. Oh.
Yeah, SC Project, and
Chris
I
is
think
so
that one,
just
the AR.
whatever. Your bike is beautiful. It keeps it totally just immaculate, clean. It's all freaking badass looking, and that's cool to me.
I try to.
Hey, if I didn't ride my motorcycle, it'd be clean too.
Well,
Right. I told you I didn't ride.
That's why I said that.
I washed mine this morning because I couldn't. It was filthy, damn dirty from all those weird rainstorms we kept
Yeah,
getting.
Zig saw mine today. He changed my
So-
tires. I was like, yeah, I think I need to wash this. It's
Yeah, he
fucking
does
just
need to wash
filthy.
it. My God, but
Well,
at least he got smart and put Michelin's on his bike.
Well, you know what?
It
It's
looks kinda
supposed
gray.
It's supposed to rain on Thursday, so I'm not gonna wash it until after that and see where the forecast tells me. Because if I wash it, then it'll rain really hard. I'm like, fuck, I gotta wash it again.
Yeah,
Wipe
Yep.
it down.
how it goes.
So I've got 4 bikes.
I used to be like that.
which I'm gonna do we're gonna do the swap. One I'm bringing to the instructor track day, which is gonna be my 04 CBR 600RR, which doesn't even have 3,000 miles on it yet.
Wow.
But at least it's broken in, so I can run it. Because the last time I brought it last year, it only had didn't have 300 miles on it, so I didn't want to spin its wheel. Or no, the one before the last one. But yeah, so we can
That's
sit
just
there and have
motor-wise,
some fun.
right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
rebuilt the
So
motor.
yeah, so we'll swap our bikes out. That's what I'm going to bring to the instructor deal. And then I got an 87 GSXR 750. I have my 01 Harley Davidson Wide Glide. And then I have my track bike, which is an 01 GSXR 1000. So, which I'm going to bring to Chuck, which will be at Chucky
Yes.
June 1st.
June 1st.
Yeah,
Can't
baby.
wait.
I've already got my cabins. We're gonna be there. Me and Vince, my brother Vince, will be there on Friday. We're gonna get there early.
Nice.
My shop is Vince or Dylan's gonna run the shop until he has to take off to go to UPS, and I am leaving.
Yeah, speaking of,
and I'm heading out
We're
to
gonna be
Chucky.
we're gonna be
so-
there early too.
I believe Fast
Okay,
Eddie was
good.
just out there with his brand new S1000R.
Yes, he was, and
Those are so nice.
And he was running in a counterclockwise direction. I've only ran it in a clockwise direction, which is really a bitch because when you come out on turn 9 and you're going uphill, and you're coming in hot, when you bank left, now it's an off camber. And there were so many people that were running right off the track. I mean, that entire day, each session, there was at least 2 or 3 riders that went off the track.
Oh shit.
Jeez.
Because
That's,
it's an elevation change. Not only does it go up and then it goes down, you're in an off camber.
That's Chuck Hill, right?
Yeah.
Crash Hill.
Yeah, crash hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You go
Yard sale?
weightless on
This
shit
is
like
called
that.
Yard sale
Right.
turn 8. Huh?
So, but Dave Rusk
Speaking of which,
chimed in, so I know
What up, Dave?
I wouldn't mind riding. I think what I'm going to do is I would love to run a Harley around that track.
Hi,
And
Michelle.
I
Love
know
you,
that,
miss you.
that Dave runs, really takes good care of his
And
bike.
Drake.
So I want to run his bike around the track too. So I think this one's going to be a big bike swapping thing. Because what it's fun, it's not a clinic or nothing like that. It's not a training. It's basically just instructors getting together, sharing
track day,
advice,
yeah.
just have fun, camaraderie, which I really love. That's the difference when it came from the old curriculum to when Total Control Training took over. It made it a very family oriented thing. It brought all the instructors together as a family, and we have such a great time, especially at that track day before.
That's a
the
man. That's a good
PDW.
time.
And
It
you know,
is a great
you know what's tough? Well, it is what it is, but it's because of the size of the track and whatnot. It's limited to how many instructors can sign up and ride. So
Yeah.
It is.
that kind of
Yeah.
bites because there's only X amount of riders that can be there. But
But the
for
cool
if you
thing
get,
is
if
they
you
run it.
got to
in
get
3
in
groups,
early and get
so,
your ticket. And,
you know.
I
yeah.
think it's what is it? Is it 40 or is it 50? 40.
Well, they split it into 3 sessions.
Yeah,
I think it's more
Or
now.
3
I thought it
groups,
was
I mean.
like
Is it
ABC
70?
75. I think.
75. That's it. Yeah,
75.
75. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll do the same thing I did last year. I think I'll start with the beginner group.
So
and
I
then
forgot
go
to
the
mention
second
the
group
wife's
after a
bike too. I
couple
guess I
sessions.
could include that in my garage. The 05 GSXR 600.
Oh yeah. Christie's.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
We're
right, Chrissy's
down to
bike.
2 bikes from 5. So
5.
yeah, we had
Oh yeah, you had the Repsol.
15
at one
R6,
point, yeah.
17 R6,
Jesus.
CBR 1000, the Repsol. Well, and then we had a Ninja 250. All those are gone. Yeah.
Just sucks. There's so much maintenance to have them sit. I mean, you got to put them on battery tenders, or you're gonna have to ride them a lot. You get,
Yeah, I got to keep
you know.
swapping my bikes out. But Mom, Michelle, Justin's mom, or our mom, just chimed in. She says, "Love you guys. Love you too, Mom."
Glad y'all
and-
made it home safe and
Hey, Mom.
hope
Yes.
everything's well with the family.
And I did send her a text yesterday saying Happy Mother's Day. Sent it to her. And I sent one to Cassie too. I joined Mom and Cassie in the same one because Cassie's a mom,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
She's
Yes,
got
she
that
is.
baby. She's
It's in the
almost
belly.
ready. Another 6 weeks.
Hey,
Damn.
Rusk said you can be on his bike and you'll be the rolling road block.
That's
You know,
probably true.
you know what'd be funny is to see Dave. When I ride your bike, you are gonna ride my 600. It's gonna be funny to see Dave because Dave's a big boy. It'd be funny to see him on my 600. And I want Dave. Have you ever ridden a sport bike before? I'm just kind of curious. I think that would be funny to watch him on my 600.
I just want to know, can Can I do wheelies on everybody's bikes?
Hey, if you feel like you want it,
I don't know how to
more
turn off
power
my
to
launch
you.
control, so you're.
Hey, if you
I'll
can
figure it
get
out.
if you can get my re-geared commuting gearing bike to wheelie, go for
There's
it.
supposed to be
Okay.
a way to override it, but I've never.
So,
messed with
and
it.
then my muffin chimed
You got to
in. Hi,
turn the
Muffin.
wheelie control
Yeah.
off first.
You have
Well,
to
he
turn
said he
the-
didn't know
you gotta turn
where
the
it is.
ABS off.
There's a trick to doing it. I've read the manual, but it's a little bit. They try to make it really.
It's
Let's go to
yeah.
YouTube.
No, I'm not trying to do wheelies on his thing.
Hell
but,
no.
You know,
I'm not,
You know
I'm not
somebody
trying to break
does
the
that, though.
expensive bike.
I just want to feel what it's like to go through like a mountain pass, which is basically what Horse Thief Mile was designed for. Is like a mountain pass. So, but anyways, hi Muffin, I love you, sweetie.
Can
You know,
read-
I have a bike
can you
too.
read what
Thanks
she
for
wrote?
asking.
What's that? I have no idea because my my girl, she sent a deal here. Actually, you can. Does it say you can see it? It doesn't say
Does
you
it say
can
translate?
It doesn't say translate.
It's
So
all in
so
Japanese.
my-
It's
It's dirty.
hilarious.
yeah, my
It's
girl
dirty.
my girl is Japanese and all this is in Japanese. So there's something.
Oscar,
She
you
said
bad
good evening,
girl.
and like she wished everybody. It said it was translated on my phone before.
It
Oh.
was?
Oh, you can read it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
now I can't. But she didn't.
Yeah, there's no way I'm clicking. It doesn't have a transfer.
She said, "How are you? It's a motorcycle story today, isn't it? Everyone's having fun. Good, good." And then she said, "Automatically translated."
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
I also want to mention on May 26th, I am actually have that day off, which is a very rarity. I don't know if you guys have that day off, but I am going to go for a ride. And if anybody wants to go for a ride with me, we're going to meet off the 60 and Country Village, and we're going to go to Cook's Corner. So, get a ride down there. Going to go through Ortega Highway. We're going to Cook's, grab a burger. They have good burgers.
Jordan's working. We already
What?
figured that out, unfortunately.
Is that a Saturday or
That is a
Sunday?
Sunday.
You talking about the
May
26th?
26th, yes.
I think I'm working.
What time?
Well, I figured we're going to side stands up at 11 a.m.
Okay.
My band has a gig that day.
Oh,
Giggity,
okay.
giggity.
Giggity,
Good.
giggity, gig.
You know what? Maybe
We're
I'll,
playing
The
the
Hairy
table-
Hippie Chicks.
We're playing
Yeah.
both days
maybe,
on that
maybe
weekend.
I'll ask Janet if
Nice.
she can get Joe to cover my range.
Oh shit!
No, I'm serious.
Giggity.
So I got speaking of
Cover my range, baby.
speaking of ranges. Hey, the JJ, can you do me a quick favor, please? Pretty please.
Sure.
Because you're my best buddy. You know, but JJ's been my co-host almost 4 years now, right? It's almost
Nice.
4 years. Because my show's going on 5 years. I can't believe it's
Has
been
my
that
wife
long.
chimed in yet?
She's just watching.
She's just
She
watching.
hasn't said anything. She
Or
joined
is it 3
Honey.
years for JJ?
June.
Oh, hey, for JJ, take my platinums out of the freezer before they blow up. Don't give me one of those because they're probably way too cold now. Set them on
Cold
the
is
counter.
Hey, so
Set 'em
Russ
on the
says yes.
counter.
Russ has lots of miles on sport bikes.
Okay, so good, Dave. You're gonna we'll swap bikes and then you're gonna ride my 600. I'm gonna ride his Harley.
And then Michelle, I'm not sure where we could change topics so many times already. She says she also said that Zig would be ignoring her. I'm assuming that Atsuko.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my girl. She likes attention, and I give my girl attention. But yeah, she was chiming in last week, and she's like, "Oh, you're not paying attention to me." No, well, it's not the Otsko show.
Right.
I love you with all my heart, honey. Definitely do. It's not the Otsko show. But
Christy's cooking. Probably listening to the show cooking.
oh, Christy,
Are we coming?
Ah,
What
yes.
really? What are you cooking? Are we coming over for dinner?
Yeah,
after?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Are we going over? Are you making enough for all of us, Christy?
Well, I barbecued pollo before I left so that she didn't have to cook it.
What
And
is
then
pollo?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Oh, pollo.
Yeah, pollo. Pollo.
Polo.
Pollo. Fraser, what is that?
Some pollo.
They make it down
You
in
gotta-
La
you
Jala.
gotta have the
Yeah,
accent.
when
in there.
it's a Wedo saying chicken.
What is a
for you.
pollo?
Pollo.
What is a pollo?
Fuck off.
Holy shit! This
Christy
is
says-
It's a
Christy
yo-yo
says
that somebody
polo
peed on.
and tacos. So
Oh
Christy's
my
making
God.
Oh, she's
chicken
making
tacos.
Chicken tacos.
It's spelled Pollo, or that would work. dipshit.
Okay, so
Marco.
Well, they're making fun of him for the
God.
way he said it.
Oh.
Walsh,
Right.
hey, Walsh's salsa.
Walsh's salsa in the house. I made a
Dude, that is
wicked
All right,
batch.
we're
bomb
going
ass
to your house
salsa.
after this,
So,
man.
it could use a little more kick in my terms,
Yeah, oh,
but
for sure.
For everybody else, it would be like just a nice kick.
So this recent batch that I made, I've been struggling with the peppers. Remember I was talking to you about that, and so I bought extra peppers this time and made sure that they had all the scorch kind of marks in it. But anyhow, I added extra to it this time. This time it's got fire to it and flavor.
Nice.
Oh man, you need
to bring some of
going-
that to Chucky.
I will.
How about bringing some to
will.
Biker Alley? I'll bring some chips.
I should have brought some.
Well, he
tonight,
brings
yeah.
fucking pretzels. Yeah, I like to see. Freight Train try to get salsa. Here he is
Here we
with
go.
a pretzel.
It's possible.
Justin in
Oh
the
my
crinkly
God,
bag.
right?
Yeah, I remember Zig used to
Justin
love
used
that
to
one.
always sit here in the middle, right where
Chips
Chris
or
is, and sit
something.
there
Yeah.
and always have a crinkly bag.
He did.
And he'd be eating, and then all of a sudden he would just chime in and start talking about whatever topic Justin wanted to talk about, and he would get like so intense into it. The only thing we
And
could
then
do
I
is
would make an
fun of-
asshole comment, and he would just look at me and go, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
guys,
We had to
Yeah,
say
he
something
tried
that
to
would trigger
avoid
him.
He tried to avoid that,
Yeah.
but we'd make fun of some of the words, and he'd be just flipping us
Yep.
off while he's still
He
talking.
would flip out. Oh, screw you guys. Whatever. I'm not talking anymore.
Okay, so everybody taught this weekend, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Not me.
Okay. Now I'm going to we're going to share pick a good story out of your range. Okay, so now
Oh,
me
yeah, this will
and
be good.
Jordan are sitting there. We're at a break, right? And so I sit around and I'm like going, hey, so you have a bike yet? And so this one guy says, yeah, I have a 2010 R1. I mean, oh, very nice.
No, he says a 9. It was the same year as my FZ.
2009, whatever. So it's like, okay, great, nice bike. And then one of the other students says, wow, says, what is that? He goes, oh, it's a 1,000 cc Yamaha. Here's the catcher. One of the other students says, well, how fast does it go? This guy with total authority said, about 300 to 400 miles per hour.
Well, no. Hold on. It started at 200. He goes, yeah, I mean, I've had it at like 200. He goes, but it'll go at least 400.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
And I look at him, I'm like going, how fast? And he goes, yeah, it's supposed to do about 300 or 400 miles an hour.
So I'm sitting there, and at that point, I can't help myself. I'm dying. I'm busting up.
Yeah, me and him are looking at each other, and we're just like going, and he looks at me and he goes, should I say something? I'm like, no.
I said, do you want me to tell him, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm like, no. Let's just let him. Let's just let him, have this glory.
Yo, man, I put a 14.2 sprocket on that back tire.
Oh my God, But it was the guy was actually a really nice guy. He did a good job of listening and applying. He did everything we needed. He passed the writing course with flying colors. But that was just so funny. I just couldn't believe it. And he was very serious. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. 300 to 400 miles per hour. Oh, yeah. And it's got this and the other thing. So then I had a private conversation with him when I went back for day 2. They come out of the classroom, and he's already waiting. And he's the first one to come up. And so I was sitting there chatting with him, and he's like, yeah. And I'm going, yeah, so you're on one, that's a pretty fast bike. And he goes, yeah, I was a track bike. Well, so I pull up a video, the last video I posted of my son on the track. And I said, boom. And so I showed it to him. And he's like, wow, he's really on. How fast? About 200 miles an hour? I'm like going, no, that right there is about 130 miles an hour. And he's like, wow, that looks fast. I'm like going, yeah. So I just want to let you know, because I really got a kick
That
out.
is fast.
I really got a kick. I really got a kick out of you when you mentioned how fast your bike went. I just want to let you know I own a motorcycle shop, and I actually, work on track bikes. So I just want to let you know that the fastest bike on the road right now is the H2R. The Kawasaki H2R.
Yeah, no, it's a
Actually,
track
that's not
bike,
true.
not a
The
road
Lightning
bike.
LS218 is the fastest production bike.
No,
No,
it's not.
because that's not a production bike.
No,
that's a
it's
swap.
That
It's
is
a
not-
what?
It's a swap, a motor swap.
Yes.
A
Oh, the
special
H2R
custom.
is?
No,
the
no.
H2R is a
A
machine.
production
It's a factory.
motorcycle.
Production
There is
motorcycle. I would love to
there
have
is
one of
No, the
not-
218 is a production one.
Dude, there is not an R1 out there. And I tried to find it when I got home yesterday. Tried to find an R1 that went faster than 200 miles an hour. Couldn't find it. There was none.
They went faster than 200 miles.
That wouldn't, faster than 200 miles an hour. So they had a
Yes,
couple
we're
of them that
talking
were on
about
the
a
soft
stock-
flats that
a
were doing
stock
like
bike?
180 miles
Yeah.
an hour, but that was about it. Nothing top 200 miles. 300 miles an hour. 300 miles an hour.
It'll do 300 kilometers an hour.
That is
Well, yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'd have to
That
be
might
some,
be what he was
Yes.
thinking. Maybe he just got his units crossed.
Probably.
But no.
But, great
I
guy.
thought he was the way you were describing it. I thought he was being sarcastic to the dude asking.
No, he was very. He was.
That makes it
He's
even
been
funnier.
watching too many European YouTube videos.
Right. So yeah, it was definitely kilometers. But I also want to mention that the Zig Zone is also brought to you by SoCal Motorcycle Training. You can reach them at 951-306-0141, or you can go on to www.scmt411.com. That is www.scmt411.com, and that will be in San Bernardino or Palm Springs. So if you're in those areas, you can go ahead and get yourself signed up. Now, these are also sites that I also work at. So with any luck, I might just be your instructor. Oh, and Chris
Or me.
Chris
Yeah.
might be your
Or
instructor.
me.
So do you have? Because obviously me and Jordan worked together this weekend. So what's a highlight on your on something you had this weekend?
not this weekend, but the last weekend I worked was
Okay.
with Larry's site at
Learn
Learn
to
to
Ride.
Ride VC up in Ventura. But the city, I can't remember the city's name where the riding
Somas.
Somas, yes, thank you. Right off the 118. So I went up there, worked one day, a double, just to fill in. He needed an instructor like last minute, so I filled in. Wow, just a spectacular range. I had such a blast. The view is just breathtaking. It's like a picture
Yes.
rest of all the hills and the mountains behind you. And the range is beautiful. I mean, the asphalt is super smooth and really nice.
Yeah, because it's surrounded by all farmland.
Yeah.
Literally, the range is surrounded by farmland.
There's
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful riding up there.
Yeah.
It was a great ride, just riding there, and then I rode out. I went all the way up 126 to the 5 to 210 coming back home because it was just such an awesome ride. So probably the craziest thing, I won't get into specifics of student, but so at break time, there's a mini farm connected to the school. It's an elementary school, and there's a mini farm. So they have chickens and pigs and cows. They got all kinds of animals inside this fenced-in area right by the riding range. Well, I don't know. There was a trash can dumped over, and one of the students was having a conniption fit because the trash was dumped over and the animals were eating the trash.
Oh.
So this student wanted to go inside the area and pick up the trash. I'm like, yeah, we can't go in there. That's not our
Not ours,
property.
yeah.
It's locked up. And it was like the majority of the time was I had to keep getting the student away from the fence because the student was going to jump over the fence. And I'm like, no,
Jesus.
you can't go in there.
Can't go in there.
That's you can't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think animals are eating the trash. I think they're eating what was in it, whatever edible things. I mean, if they eat trash, well,
Cool
that's
edibles.
yeah. I mean, if they're eating plastics and stuff, they're just dumb. But I think they're actually eating whatever was in the trash. I think they're
Yeah.
picking through it. They weren't eating it. But it was like literally, hey, all right, we need to get back to the bikes. The person
couldn't
was so
focus on-
distracted to that. It was
And
like,
they're in a complete other pen.
Yeah.
Completely just shut off from the world.
it was just like, wow, that was something else. I had to keep taking time to tell the student, hey, we have to get back to the bikes now. It was like, wow,
Hey,
that was a little bizarre.
So now, because Larry was one of the first sites that had the BMW 310. What did you ride it?
I did not. It was actually
Oh,
in getting.
man.
I've ridden the 310 now.
Oh, have you? Okay. What
I
do you
put
think
like
of it?
150 miles on one.
Oh,
as a
that's
demo.
right. Because you get to go and go to the BMW
Yeah.
dealer, and
Yeah,
they,
Mike-
and
right.
they give this fucking guy.
Mike's spending enough money
You
there, and
know,
they know he's going to spend more, so they give him
Mike
bikes.
rolls up to you
They
like, going,
take
"Hey,
care- they-
here's a new
they-
bike. Take it."
Yeah.
Dude, I'm such a pain in the ass, and I will say New Century BMW Alhambra takes care of me. I mean, whatever. I've had a flat tire, aired it up to get there, and they stayed like a little bit past their closing time and held one of their mechanics so they could change the tire out. I mean, that's above and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
A
Well, that's
dealership.
customer service.
Yeah, but I mean,
Which you get at my shop.
right?
I have
and
no
that's-
problem staying late as long as it's a safety issue, or if that's your only transportation and you need it to get to work,
Yeah.
to pay your bills. All right, I'll stay late.
But some won't do that. They'll be like,
Yeah.
nah, come back tomorrow.
Nah,
Yep,
we
we're
close
closed.
at
But
five.
it's
Well,
all
that-
about customer service.
That's the difference between a shop that is full of people who have a passion for motorcycles and a shop that's there to charge you money.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they're in it for
But
money. Yep.
you can go there and demo. They have BMW, KTM, and Zero, and you can go demo. They have probably 15 or 20 demo bikes, and they're always encouraging me. Hey, Mike, do you know anyone who's come out and demo a bike? The
Well, they need to put
BMWs.
miles on them or something?
Yeah, they need 800 miles on them before they can sell them. They get these bikes as demos from BMW, and they have to get 800 miles on them before the dealership now can sell them. So they're like, going from Alhambra to Newcombs is only like 40 some miles round trip. I mean, it'd take forever to just go that loop.
See, you need to get me.
That's
tested
what you need to
'cause
do is
I'll
just-
definitely go like, okay, I'll be there on
Hell
Saturday
yeah.
morning.
Just say, we got some
absolutely.
As
instructors.
long as I'm
9
not
to 5.
working, and I'm gonna take that thing through Crest, through Bokeh
Oh,
Canyon.
hell yeah.
You know what's
I'll
even
put some
better?
mileage on that thing.
Even more fun is just go out for an hour, come back, get another bike, go out for an hour, come back.
Oh, right.
Dude, that's
Hey, where is New Century?
New Century is in Alhambra, off of Main Street by Fremont and Maine. It's kind of in the west end of Alhambra, almost to the Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's
city
where you
limits.
buy all your bikes, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So
they
there you go.
take care of me. I got no issues.
Because
with
I can always
going
drop
those.
my FZ1 off and just leave it there on the way to my girlfriend's house and pick one of those up.
So
Yeah, you can't take them overnight.
Oh, okay.
That's just a BMW thing. It has to be
Got
back
it.
in the shop at night, but basically 9 to 5, you can go ride it
Yeah.
all day.
yeah, you can't
But
blame 'em.
I mean,
Insurance reasons also.
Yeah.
I will let you guys know when they have demo days too, which they set all and they get that and even more bikes, and you can go on these hour loops with a group, and then you can ride all the bikes they have.
Nice.
All right, very good. So, give me an interesting story that you had.
The first one that comes to mind is I was kind of worried because it was getting close to 7 o'clock, and there was no students there yet.
Oh, 7 a.m.
At San
Got it.
Bernardino. So 7 a.m.
I'm thinking, I already
And-
started a half hour
right.
before that.
So I heard a Harley pull up loud, and so I go downstairs and there's a young guy sitting out there eating some breakfast or whatever. And I start talking to him and he says, yeah, he's all on the way here. I lost one of my exhaust pipes.
Oh, shit.
And I went, oh man. I said, that sucks. And he's all, yeah, when I got off the freeway, I heard this loud noise, and he said I must have lost it somewhere back on the freeway. And he's all, so my buddy just texted me and he's riding his Harley here and he broke a throttle cable.
Oh, shit.
And he's all, so he's going to be late. And I'm all, well, is he one of our students? And he's all, yeah. He's all, we're taking the class together. And they were your students from last weekend. So big, tall guy. They work for a paving
Oh
company.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we did a Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then
interesting.
his bearded friend. So
Yes.
it was Brock and I shouldn't say names, should I? Anyhow,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because who you mentioned, he's like 6 foot
Yeah,
something.
he was tall.
Yeah.
It was Edelbrock.
it was Edelbrock. Yeah.
Not on the Harley, it would have fell off.
Oh yes.
What was his last name?
Don't ask her, he'll tell you.
Wiederman.
Earl Scheib.
So anyhow, the other guy broke a throttle cable and ended up having to push his bike like a mile and a half, almost 2 miles back to his. He didn't even make it back home. He made it into
Close
his
to his house.
housing development, and then his wife picked him up
And brought him
dropped him off, and he got there right at 6:59.
Oh, wow.
And he's all, am I late? And I'm all, well, another 30 seconds you would be late. I said, come on in, So ended up, mostly everybody was within a minute or two of
Yeah, that's free. It's like, why is nobody here?
yeah, it was really weird. So, but yeah, that was my story for this weekend, and
Those
previous.
two guys were and they were really good
Oh, they're
riders.
great. Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, they were great.
But what I liked about them, because usually when you get someone who's already ridden before, they have the bad habits, and when you're trying to tweak the bad habits out of them,
Yeah.
trying to instill the good ones, they're not too receptive of that.
right,
And it's few and far between, but you get into those, and they were younger guys,
right.
and that's what I'm anticipating. But man, they were like, oh yeah, and then you told them something, and they did it.
And they did it. It was funny that the tall guy, he says, "Hey man," he's all, "How much would it take for me to pay you to tell him that he failed.
Nice.
And I said, man, I'll do it for free. Just to see the look on his face when he walked up. And I looked at him and I said, dun, 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 dun. And he's all, so what's the verdict? And I'm all, bro, I'll be seeing you again, man. Sorry. And his face just got blank. I was no, you good.
It was his fault. His buddy's
Your buddy just told me
He
to
was
do
dying.
that.
That's
Yeah, it was
great.
good. It was fun. It was a great class. Even Allison, she's like, wow. So this is a very great, interactive class. Everybody was really cool.
And you know why? You know why?
Because
Vince and me were
set the platform.
set the
right?
platform in classroom one and
Yeah.
in range one. You're welcome. Actually, I think I texted you. Didn't I text you and say, yeah, you have a great class. You're welcome.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
You know what though? Zig and I were talking about that this weekend too, because the last few times I've taught and the last few times he's taught, we both agreed like we both had a smooth class this weekend, and we're like, oh, thank God,
You know,
because it went really smooth and it was really pleasant with
the
everybody.
classroom really sets the stage. I mean, if
See, there you go, Zig. You're welcome.
if
Yeah.
if you don't get them interacting
Yeah.
or make it fun, like
Yeah.
Alice and I were talking, if you don't make it fun and if you're not having fun yourself, the students aren't going to have fun.
Yeah,
They're
'cause
not
they
gonna
can
be
pick up on that.
interactive. And so the classroom, especially day one sets the stage for the whole weekend or the next 2 days.
Yeah,
know,
if you
and-
make it a
and-
college lecture fest,
no,
you're gonna
you've
get
lost
yawns.
them. You've lost them. You
Yeah.
know, so I joke around a lot. I tell stories. Sometimes I tell too many stories, but I mean, we have to add relativity. But I make it fun.
Right.
That's cool. Yeah, no, keeping it fun on the range too helps a lot.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like the end of exercise 3, you try to it depends on the situation where introductions, like who's ridden and who hasn't on the range. So end of 3, my group on my half, they get off the dismount and stand around, debrief. So who was it that didn't ride bikes? Someone said they don't ride bikes. There's 2 or 3 of my students like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause
Now
they
you
have
have
their
ridden a
feet on the
motorcycle.
pegs there, right? And,
Yep.
and man, they get all excited because
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
high fiving them, and everyone's all like, and they like, it really helps because they're going to a break, and when they come back, they're like, they
They're
really
excited,
want to
they're pumped.
ride. They're like,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
relaxed now, and that works so much in your favor as an instructor because now they're relaxed. The
Well,
worst thing is a tense rider, and they're really
Yeah.
hard to instruct. So they're
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm
let's
I'm
ride.
always sitting there like, I'll move their arm. Whoa, you can't move it. It's like trying to bend a log. You're
Yeah.
like, going, whoa, relax. Okay, now ride like that.
You don't hit them with a
Yeah, that
ruler.
works.
But we
for you.
do
Yeah.
but we did have another good one. Now Tom Medgar, who's the owner of the site we teach in, High Desert
Yeah.
motorcycle training. His daughters were in our class this weekend.
Oh, they were.
Yes,
Both of them.
and
Yeah.
what was awesome.
17 and 15 and a half.
Yes, and what was awesome is that there was one's older, one's younger, and one's more apprehensive than the other one, So the younger was more apprehensive. So we were doing exercise 14,
Max break.
maximum, quick stop, and so we're about ready. I gave Jordy, hey, I'm ready to rock and roll. I checked my stopwatch. Hey, we're good to go. So I stopped my class, and I turned at an angle so that way I can have full range control. My students are stopped. You know what I mean? And then here comes Tom's daughter, and she comes down and she's on a Grom. And when she does her last stop, she just like the rear tire comes up. She does like a 9 o'clock stopping. Feet never came off the pegs. I mean, she just literally like
Nice.
boom, didn't panic, brought it down, and Jordy's like, yeah, and I'm like on the other side of the range going, yes, and all the students that were sitting there waiting, they're all
They
like,
all watching it.
yes! I mean, you can hear them yelling in their helmet, dude. The clear across the range. I'm like, wow! And it was
Zig tried to stop me, but I had given her some advice on braking quicker, and I wanted to see her come down one more time, so I let the second sister come down, and I was like, sweet.
well because those Grom's wheelbase is so short,
Yeah.
and it's so easy. So we tell them, hey,
They're basically
Little-
pocket
little-
bikes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so more squeeze towards the end of your stop, and this is exactly what she did.
Oh, she gave it a hell of a
She
lot more
didn't panic. She went like this. The bike didn't fall left or right.
No,
it came
she was
right
perfect.
back down.
Head and eyes straight the
And it
whole
was-
time. It was
Knees to
beautiful.
tank.
Oh my
It
god!
was
Yeah,
beautiful.
knees to it was it was like a picture perfect.
It was the first time I got to watch somebody do that. Like a student in one of our classes. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, unlike Jordan during the instructor
The
training
IT
that
that-
does decide to do a 12 o'clock stoppie.
Damn
So,
near.
all right, so since we're talking about exercises, exercise 6, what are we looking for?
What is
I
exercise
can't
6?
remember 6.
tell the JJ.
Well, the listeners too.
Basically, riding around curves.
Oh, right.
It's just a little oval in the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
Entering curves.
Entering curves, what are we watching for?
Head and eyes and relaxed body posture.
And braking.
Body posture.
Yeah. Body
Do
posture,
you-
but making sure they slow before the corner.
Body posture. Do you guys look at their feet? Feet positions on the pegs.
We talked about
Yeah.
that with Fast
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Do you
Like
correct
foot
that?
position.
Do you correct it?
I notice it when it's bad,
Well,
but I don't
When their toes are
specifically-
underneath the pegs
Yeah.
or
Well, see,
toes off the sides of the pegs. you
yes,
correct
I
it?
was gonna say, because it depends on what type of bike they're riding.
Yeah.
If your pegs are underneath you, then you should be after you get done braking, put your feet back on the peg, and you should be toe up if your pegs are underneath you. If you're on a cruiser, obviously you're forward, and then you pull your feet back. So go ahead.
Sorry, are your toes in or toes out? If the toes are out, do you correct it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be one of the first things to touch the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
That's why you bring your toes up if the pegs are underneath you. Yeah.
so the conversation
I-
was when I was talking to Larry is most instructors don't coach that. So I wanted to know for sure if I was in the right or wrong. So I got on the phone and called Nick, head of QA.
Yeah, Nick
and-
DeVolt. Uh-huh.
Okay,
Part of
head of
posture.
QA. And I said, Nick, tell me if I'm right or wrong, just like we talk about. If I'm wrong, then I won't coach it. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I said, I'll pull a student out, correct their feet because they don't realize their toes are sticking out over the
Yeah.
pegs. Okay. And I tell you, okay, I'm going to touch your foot. Is that okay? Yes. I'm going to move your foot in and I want you to feel where your toes are now. Oh, wow. So they don't realize that. So I said, Nick, am I right or wrong? He's like, you're absolutely right. It is part of body posture and you're supposed to be coaching that.
Yeah.
And Larry was like, "Oh shit, I never knew that." So,
Well,
trying to learn.
see, now the thing is, because I have to interject on that because it's not on your range card
on the range
as a
card.
description,
Right.
And that's one of the things where you have
wish
to
it
you have
was.
to go back into deeper in your P&P, and your in the instructor manual, and it breaks down things to look for.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is
I
definitely.
couldn't find it specifically, so I wanted to be
No,
No, it's not in there.
no,
because they
it's
talk
not.
about
I know.
relaxed
But-
elbows. And,
But back to
Hands,
body
round
posture,
throttle.
because you definitely talk about that in classroom.
yeah.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say,
absolutely.
But they
I
gotta be
try
on
and
the
nip that in the butt
Yeah.
in classroom 1 when we're talking about body posture, writing, and stuff like that. And I always touch base on the feet thing. So
good.
How do
Good.
you touch base on it? I'm curious. I want to know what I can use.
I go like this.
It's the same thing. Same thing with arms being bent.
I use my finger as a peg, and I use my hands to show where the foot's supposed to go. Slide your foot up, break. Slide your foot back to the balls of your feet.
Yeah.
Okay,
That- and
slide
the-
up. Same thing with the shifter. Okay, same thing. Slide up, shift, slide back. Riding on the balls of your feet, toes into the engine case. So
Yeah.
you're basically inside of your heels should be up against the bike.
Right.
Do you roll your toes like as you're like moving your body into like cornering and stuff like that?
Well, we don't talk about so much that in the MTC because we're just talking about
beginner.
basic,
yeah.
Basic,
stuff.
yeah.
Really, what we're trying to work on is keeping your foot, the balls of their feet, on the pegs. But the main key is keeping their toes in because I see so many students ride around, their foot are off the side of
They're
the peg,
hanging out. Yeah.
I catch
and
myself
when they're
doing
leaning, they're
On your
getting.
CBR, really?
that. Yeah, like my feet will just be kind of like sticking out just a little bit.
Yeah, I call it-
and then I just bring them back in.
I call it duck feet because if
Yeah.
you look in the mirror and watch a rider behind you, their feet are out or they're down underneath the pegs. And I'm like, so if the foot is underneath the peg and they go into a corner
Yeah,
and
what's
that
gonna
toe
catch
hits, it's going to
first?
break their
Yeah.
foot.
Well,
that's-
especially when you get like a lot of riders that are riding cruisers and they got the highway and they're
they got their
always want it
feet
stretched out.
splayed.
They got their
Yeah.
So there
and
was
that's a very tough habit to break out of people.
so about 2.5 years ago, there was a crash that happened on a right-hand curve. It was a really bizarre crash, and it was something that played in my mind over and over. And like that was a really strange thing. It was like the rider, skilled rider, actually decent rider, okay, going around the corner, and all of a sudden, it was almost as if the bike just washed out, and the rider went down at a heap of crash. And it was like, I'm like, wow, what just happened there? It didn't look like he slid out, but it looked like he grabbed a handful of brake. So I started
his
piecing
foot
it
hit
back
first.
to-
Freaked out when his foot touched.
his foot touched the ground. It pulled his foot off the peg, and when that happened, it startled him, and he grabbed the brake. So it was a foot out, grabbed the brake, and the bike crashed.
Well, that could pull you off the bike
It could actually
if you lean that far where like the road grabs your foot.
Well,
Yeah, it absolutely could happen. So
That'll
that's
kick you
part of
right
the body
off.
posture,
Yeah.
and I've been really on correcting that so that I don't because a lot of riders riding
Yeah.
and their foots aren't in the proper.
That's
position.
also a sign he was
that was
probably
something I had to fix.
he could have been counterbalancing the bike as he was in the corner too. Like if his foot's out, his upper body could have been up, so he
Could have
has to
been
lean
twisted.
the bike further.
That doesn't so much affect your foot as far as just going around a curve, but having the toes outward
Yeah.
off the sides of the pegs, and you catch your toe on the ground and rip your foot off
Yeah.
the peg. And as a student, they're not going to understand why that's happening.
Yeah.
Like, why
But
did
you
my
got to
foot
be
just
really
come off
low
the
for
peg?
that for your foot to hit
Well,
like
I'll
that.
give you a good
I
example.
don't know. They get pretty low. A lot of them through the
I was
corners.
saying not necessarily because usually that's caused by either riding but in the crown of your foot or the arch of your foot or with your heel on the peg. So if you correct
Which is all
it
wrong.
by, which is totally wrong.
Unless
yeah.
you're dirt
If-
biking.
If you're
Yeah.
riding on the ball of your feet, and that's going to leave very little toe hanging off. But some people still do try and point their toes down. But if you dig your heel into the side of the frame or into the heel guard, which most bikes have,
Yeah.
then you can usually correct that. But so when I'm talking about it in class, I just tell them, okay, do you want to ride like a duck, with your feet out? I said, imagine this, and I said, am I touching? Am I touching? And they're like, oh yeah. I said, no, but if you ride with your balls like this, you're gonna be one with the motorcycle with your balls.
You have your balls like that, you got a whole different issue.
Okay, another
Flip into
subject.
that
Okay, but the thing is that's where we talk about advanced training, and
Yeah.
when you get into the more advanced training, they're really keen on that. And you do static practices, and the instructors, and when they do with the magic wheels, they go over that, and they go over the feet position and everything.
Yeah, but that is something we have to coach in.
Yes, absolutely
PC.
correct. It's part
and
of.
typically,
Well, which a lot of instructors don't know. I mean, now will they get in trouble for not correcting it? No.
no.
But if you are teaching and you know that and you want to correct, that is actually a bonus. And so, what are you going to do? Are you just going to be average, or are you going to try and step up and be the better instructor and try and key in a little more things just to make them better and prepare them for what? The advanced courses, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of the advanced courses, Allison chimed in, and I'm really curious because I know that Allie was there, Dave Woods was there, we got Vince Grieva was there. Vince Grieva, he's at the resort right now, so he's probably
I think he chimed in earlier. I thought
chilling
he said
out.
he was. I think he was watching.
I didn't see anything in here. I
you,
just know that
Steve?
where I
That's
can
great,
see they
Allison.
chimed in. But then Dave Bianca was up there. There was Adam Herzing. Actually, Dave Bianca was going to be here tonight, but something came up, so he couldn't make it. But he's going to join us next month with Adam Herzing. So we're going to
nice.
have Dave Bianca
That'd be
and
awesome.
Adam Herzing
Nice.
next bike rally.
So I will say, since we're talking about the IRC, ARC,
Well, before we do that, because I was at the track day on April 27th. I was down at Streets of Willow, and they were running a total control training up at Horse Thief. And so when it started off in the morning, we're starting our track day off, and I only seen a couple bikes. I'm like, I only see a couple trails, and I go, wow, there's not that many people up there. So we did a couple sessions, and next thing I started paying attention back up there. Man, they had a bunch of people up there, and so I went and I tried to visit them during lunch, but you know my brother's wife Maudie, they bought a toy hauler, and so she was making us, you know, cutting asada and pollo.
Pollo. And some polo.
Your wife
right.
said you can have your balls back to
yo.
ride with them.
Yeah.
But so we sat there and we're just grubbing out. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take off because that's good food. Monty knows how to cook.
Yeah,
But I
sure.
went there and afterward and everybody was up there. You know, Lee and everybody. You know, and I was just, you know, they said they had everyone was just such in high spirits. So I would love to have one of you that were up at the Total Control Training track clinic to chime in. Let us know how that went. What was the improvement that happened when you were on the clinic, and also, or you can call in, but not calling yet because JJ just walked.
He just walked out.
He just walked out and grabbed the bathroom key. But we'd love to know. Send me a message and let us know. Actually, Ali just chimed in right there.
They had a great start, sure, but they rolled the dice and got the finishers.
I think that was probably a comment on something else. But
Yeah.
I'm guessing the classroom that you guys were talking about,
Right.
the Sunday
Well,
Sunday.
and it was
that's
funny
right.
because she got a call from a Steve, and
Steve.
then there was another Steve in the class, and he come walking across the range, and she said, you know, and he was very early. She's like, "Oh, are you Steve?" And he's all, "Yeah." And he looked at her like, "What? How did you know?" And she's all, "Well, I talked to you on the phone, right?" And he's all, "I didn't call you." And it was another Steve. And then, so the guy that broke the throttle cable, he was like the last guy showing up, and he comes walking up, and I'm all, "You must be Steve." And he looked at me and he's all, "How'd you know?" And I'm all, "Oh, your buddy told me." And so there was like 3 different occurrences that weekend of, "Hey, you must be Steve." And they're like, "How the hell do you know?" It was great. Yeah.
So yes, she says great finishers.
Great. They
Because it was you and
it was me and Allison.
Allison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so that's why she's saying great fin. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Allison, you know, and I've always mentioned this. You know, Allison was one of my training instructors when I started in 2000, and so I've always had great respect for Allison. I call her Allie.
She's very pleasant. I like her.
So, but she's just an awesome person overall. And yes, I mean, if you were going to get great instruction on the range, it would definitely be from Allie.
We had fun. We had a good time. That was the first time her and I had taught together.
Actually, you know,
That was
and
great.
it's been a really long minute, Allie, since you and I have taught together. How does that not work?
How does
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah, her and her husband
I've
both have
been
really
working,
cool bikes
working
too.
for her for a long time now. How do we not? She doesn't want to work with me.
Because Zig, she has faith in you.
This is true.
Plus, she doesn't want you to show her up.
So when I
I'm
did
kidding.
when I did my instructor training, going back to the quick stop, so Vince and I did our instructor training together, and
Oh, cool.
there was this tall gentleman in the class, and you know we were doing our instructing, but
Oh,
there
the
was
IT training? Oh.
yeah, in our IT training, and they were doing the skill evaluation, and this tall gentleman just comes down. He's on a Rebel, and you know you guys were talking about the quick stop and
Yeah.
how she did a stoppie.
Yeah.
Well, this guy comes down at like 30 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Wah!
In a
Right?
Rebel?
On a Rebel.
Oh, man.
And just mashes the brake. The front end instantly just
Oh,
Goes
no.
under.
Just wash out.
he felt it go under and leaps. This guy does a front flip
Oh, my God.
and the bike's still sliding. Front flip, lands on his feet, takes a couple of steps and turns around and goes, "Whoa!" And the bike's still sliding.
Oh, my God.
It was he was done. That was he rode perfect all day, and we're just all, oh my
What?
god! But total front flip, landed on his feet, took a couple steps, and he's like, I failed.
No. Shit. Oh, it was during the eval. Okay.
It was during the eval.
Oh yeah, that's a done deal.
Bummer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was. I mean,
Oh man, on the last
if you
eval
didn't
too.
see it, you would
Yes.
would not believe it. And, oh,
So
man,
so
it was crazy.
Ali says let's do it, Zig. So yeah, so Ali, June 22nd, 23rd. We have a blackout date. If not, let's team up and teach a class. Oh, then we got JJ opening shit up.
All right.
Well, no,
It's
since
time.
since we have
time.
since we have Redal right here, we might as well make a bunch of noise in the background. What the hell, right?
So June 22nd, 23rd. That means you're working with me on the.
No.
16th.
I what I did is I had Tom hit Janet from High Desert hit me up, and I says no. Well, pencil me in, so you can race. I said because that was today. I said pencil me in because I've already asked Ali if to book me for 22nd, 23rd, but Ali was waiting to see if there was a blackout because it's at the stadium and it's baseball season.
Right.
So they have like this whole thing going on.
That's
and
right.
actually, me and Vince, the weekend, last weekend, Vince and I, we get on Sunday morning, dude. There's a tractor trailer on the range.
Oh no.
There's
Nelson
green.
was saying.
There's green stuff like all over the place. There's me and Vince is like, holy cow. Fortunately, we have the middle range, and I didn't even think about that because I'm like looking as soon as I'm going, oh my goodness, we might not be able to ride today, and I had completely just drew a blank, and then Vince goes, well, hey, you know what, we'll run the middle range, and I'm like going, oh, that's right,
Yeah.
because I already told the students like, hey, unless we get this tractor trailer and stuff off our range, we won't be able to ride. Then he's like, going, yeah, well, we have the. I'm like, oh, so I look at the students and I go, hey, guess what, we're riding today. They're like, oh yay,
Vince and I had to do that when they had the rave. They left cars on our range.
Jesus.
Oh god, yeah, and lots of freaky stuff. I mean, there's stuff on
Oh,
the
man,
range that
it
I'm not
was-
going to mention,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that we have to clean up.
Stuff happens now and then, man.
Oh no, we're talking
Yeah.
really weird stuff is on the
the
but
side.
we have to get out there. We got to clean
better?
all
Oh,
that stuff
man,
up.
That's not fun.
No, it's
No.
not.
Right here.
It's not.
It's like that's an
love
added.
to
So Ali says, yeah,
side?
June 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, you and me.
Nice,
So
yay!
you and Ali.
Yeah.
All right.
that
I
means
love
there's-
I love my Allie. She's one of the most awesome people on the fucking planet. And actually, another good thing is Matt. Todd is he's back.
First range.
Todd
right?
is range, dude.
Yeah,
Now,
cool.
yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
just
Nice.
great
Nice.
that he's back out there.
Awesome.
Although the rest of us instructors are like, we're gonna have to kick all the cones. Which I told Matt, I says, dude, I love you, brother. If we get booked up, I have no problem running around and getting my extra exercise.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
But it's just great to have him back on the range. He's been teaching classroom, but now he's back on the range, and
Outstanding.
I'm so
Yep.
blessed
Awesome.
with
Yep.
that because we almost lost him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
That was a bad motorcycle accident.
really
Yeah.
bad,
Really
really,
bad.
really bad. And I'm just glad that he's still with us and he's gonna be back on the training. And so here's to Matt and Justin.
And Justin,
Man, Justin.
hands on. Woo.
It's so
come on,
away.
Jordy.
Okay, you gotta
Get your shit together.
All right, very good. Cheers.
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 So,
So since we're on that subject about SoCal, so let's go back 4 years. So that's where I met Justin because that's both of where we took our MTC instructor training.
oh, that's right. When we were
So-
on at Orange Show.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where I
that's-
did mine too.
So Justin and
Orange
I went through the training together. That's where I met Justin.
Oh, nice.
So remember I told you guys I wanted to announce something tonight.
oh, yeah,
something
that's right.
big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is she pregnant? Is
I
your
say-
girl pregnant?
No.
I was going to say, you better not be a
no,
baby.
no. Game over with the kids.
You're
so.
buying a victory.
Congratulations.
No, I am going to take the next step in total control training and go get my IRC
Certification.
cert.
Oh, very
Awesome.
nice.
So I am
Nice.
officially now signed up for the end of July.
Cool.
Last week in July at Ride Right in Corona. I'm going to be involved.
Oh,
in
you're
it.
doing that one,
Sweet.
yes? Because
See.
I did. Becky sent them email with the instructors. See, my thing is, I want to do the same thing, but I can't leave my shop. So I'm training my son. I've I'm getting close, but I'm not at the point to leave him running the shop and doing all the work for an entire week.
Yeah, because
So I'm not at that point yet. My son is a great mechanic, but he's still in the learning process, and I'm not trying to get that. It's like taking a brand new student and then just going having there's never in before. Have them do the basic course, the IRC, the ARC 1, and the ARC 2 all in 1 week.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it-
That
it-
ain't happening.
it can't. There's too much information.
Right.
You know, that's why we always say when
Griva's
when
doing the same thing.
when we take the students and
Vince
we get done.
said
Okay,
he's joining
now
you.
what we've instilled in
Oh,
you,
sweet.
practice that stuff.
Nice.
Go-
Integrate it.
Yes.
Yeah, you need time for
Yes. Let what we've taught you, let it download, practice it. Go remember, always practice like your quick
Get some
stop
seat time.
or your swerve. Go to a parking lot and practice this. Get some Dayglow chalk and make something.
yeah.
Practice your skills in a controlled and out of the world environment, and then hone your skills in the real world. So that's where I'm at with my son. As soon as I'm at that point, because now it's a father and son business. Once I get to that point, I'm going to do the same thing. I want to be able to teach the IRC, the ARC 1, and the ARC 2, and because Dave Woods does all of them now too.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit
So I-
ways.
And I
away
wanna
from
do
that,
the
but I want
three-wheel
to do it.
clips.
At
Yeah,
some
I
point.
was I've been teaching the MTC for 4 years now, so I
Nice.
feel like all right, I'm ready for the next step and ready for the next challenge. So my goal is, and Lee's been prodding me for a while, like at least a year. Lee's like, when you gonna do the IRC? When you gonna do IRC?
Yeah.
So I called him Lee. All right, Lee, I'm all signed up. About time. So he's been
Good.
prodding me to do it. Larry at Learn to Ride VC, he was my sponsor. So
Cool.
thanks, brother Larry.
Nice.
So I just put all the
Congratulations.
pieces.
Very cool.
I put all the pieces together. Looked at I have vacation time in July, and my wife's just like, well, about time, go do it. I've always said go do it. I've always talked about that.
Yeah.
One thing I want to do is, I have like a little over 4 years of driving trucks before I can retire, and the one thing I want to do is retire from driving, and then take on the motorcycle side a little more seriously in the
Nice.
total control world and family. So that's the goal. So hopefully this year get through the IRC, and then the goal next year is to do the ARC 1, and then every year move
cool.
up. That's
There you
my
go.
long-term goal now. So I'm really excited about it, and it's a little bit like a lot of studying to do. What Zig's talking
yeah.
about, for people that don't know. So when we're instructors and we want to go through the training process, it's a 5-day, 8-hour day, 8 hours every day of training, and then on the last day you get to teach a class, and that's basically your make or break. So there's a lot of commitment.
Yeah, because it's not a given. I
No, it's
you
not.
know,
It's
you-
not a
you
given.
can't- you
It's
can't
pass or
fail.
fail.
It's like,
It's
we,
pass or
it's
fail.
like we go over in day one. Just
So-
because you take the course doesn't mean you're going to successfully complete it.
So
Right.
prep is everything, and it's like studying. It's like studying for a midterm, or it's or finals. It's something serious, and you got to
Yeah.
do a lot of work to get there. But what's cool is in the world of total control training, you get to have a lot of support, a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
backing you up. So can't wait.
All right, very good. So
Nice.
we talked about Ride Right. So you can go on rideright.net. You can sign up.
You need a place to stay that's close,
to
so
a
you don't have to go
motorcycle
back and
training.
forth. I got
You
an extra
can
room.
you can go on to SoCal Motorcycle Training, which is scmt411.com. And then since he was also talking about Learn to Ride, which is my brother Larry Misman, and that's Learn to Ride VC. And that is you can go on to learntoridevc.com, and that's and Learn to Ride is actually out in the Ventura, Santa Barbara, area, and again, it's a very serene area. So love you, Larry. And
I might have to stop by
those
his
those are
sites.
going to be our sponsors, and then
Yeah, a lot of when
we'll talk after the show and see if Ammo want to step up and be a sponsor of the show. But anyways, I was gonna say bring up something I can.
You could read those URLs again,
Also
so people remember them.
Vince is all 12-hour day. Yeah,
me.
that's right, Vince. Yeah, it's actually more than that, but yeah.
May
yeah,
is
I'm
what?
into the 12.
Dude.
May is what?
May is
Motorcycle Awareness Month.
Week.
May the force be with
Very
you.
good. So I just want to bring up one thing: is please, people,
Look
Please.
twice for motorcycles.
Yes,
Please.
and the only way to look twice for a motorcycle is to take your face off your goddamn phone.
Oh,
Okay?
is it
I'm
true that
literally-
they're raising the ticket price to $1,000?
I sure hope so. It should be
I should,
$5,000.
I hope it
literally
is
should
too.
be
I don't know if the
$5,000.
source I saw it from
Yeah.
was true, but
Well, because I just I seen a message on when I got home on Sunday. I seen a post from a buddy of mine that I went to school with, him and his older brother. I went to school with both of them, and the older brother got into a motorcycle accident on Saturday and passed away.
Oh, man.
So you need to get your face off the
somebody was
phone.
on their
And
phone.
then and the thing is, and now I'm in my head. So I'm driving, because I always tell my students, once you become a rider, you become a more aware driver. And I'm watching so many people just staring at their phone, and literally, just in the last 4 miles, once I passed, when I got into right before Montclair, it was just literally people. I almost got into 4 accidents. People like literally coming in on me, and their phone is lit. They're driving, and they got their phone right in front of their face.
Oh, they no shame.
Now if I
It
do.
says 12-hour days.
Yeah, I know.
If
Oh,
I
yeah.
if
It'll
I
be
do get
summer.
into an incident and I'm in my truck, okay, so
Yeah, you got
shit
a
gets.
cage, you got airbags,
yeah.
you got seat belts.
But now, what happens to a motorcycle rider?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, no matter whose
Ping
fault
pong
it
ball.
is, we get injured.
Yep.
Well, as I always said that, and I tell the students, I say, one, you're going to be invisible when you ride, so just assume that no one can see you.
you can't rely on
but-
eye contact.
But yeah, do not do the eye contact thing. It doesn't mean anything. So
Yeah, they're trained to look through you, not at you.
Yep.
wear bright colored clothing, be visible. I have extra light on my bike. It helps a lot.
He's got a
Don't
lot
put
of
yourself
extra
in a bad position. Keep out of blind spots, and just assume that no one can see you. And I always do a little test it into class or in the range. And I, during break times, students are around. We're talking. I would say, all right, so all you guys are licensed drivers. You want to become motorcycle riders. Show of hands who's been trained on how to look for a motorcyclist when you're driving your car. And I yet to have anybody raise a hand. So what's that tell you about riding a motorcycle? Nobody knows how to look.
You're on your own, boy.
So the defect, I say, in the breakdown is there's no training. There's no training to teach motorists how to actually look for a motorcyclist. It's right now it's great. We have the CMS or changeable message signs all over the freeways that are lit up to say share the road, look twice for motorcyclists.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I was like, oh yeah, it's fun to ride out there and know that that's nice visible.
They don't
Yeah.
play that one as much anymore because they like pushed that one to push the weed UIs. Like they're like, don't smoke on the road. But I mean, they took away from the motorcycle ones that they were running. to
Well,
run that
this
shit.
this month, all
Yeah,
the signs
this-
are saying
this
it.
month will
be
yeah,
better.
This month, yeah.
Yeah, when I go to the CMSP advisory committee meetings, which is actually May 30th, so in like 2 weeks, up in Sacramento, and the public is welcome to go there. You just have to call and put your name on a list because you're going inside the CHP headquarters in Sacramento, so they have to basically vet you and know who's coming.
Yeah.
But it's a great program, and they talked about that, David. They talk about everybody fights for space on the CMS, is what they call it, changeable message signs. So,
yeah, I bet.
so everybody wants different. Like, there's groups that fight for time to have the signs lit up, and yeah, we would love all this. The CMSP group in Sacramento, all the CHP people would love to have from May 1st to May 30th those signs lit up, 24 hours a day, but Caltrans, DMV, the state, it's a whole nother fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would run that message like anytime anything else isn't on there, just default to the motorcycle one. 'Cause
Yeah.
especially here, people
Yeah.
ride all around the year.
Well, they need to start training people how to freaking drive first. That
Yeah,
and
the driving training is lacking for sure.
it's bad. I mean, I think it's getting worse and worse out there. and you know, it affects us motorcyclists.
Well, and you got to think,
You
it's
know?
not necessarily the driver training. They've been training drivers the same way for a long time, which is part of the problem is they're not adapting the driver training.
Right.
However, it's also the increase in the electronics exposure.
Right.
That's what's
Yeah.
degrading the driver.
Okay,
Well,
so
there's
let's take
other-
that. Let's take that back a notch. Okay, so motorcycle training, the fatalities continued to rise. Okay, and it was almost 5 years ago when they shut the program down, and when we took over, okay, for total control. And since then, we have every year reduced fatalities. So, what does that tell you about the driving program? Okay, the driving program has not changed in
Right, that's
how
what I mean,
many
yeah.
years. So I think, you know,
It
I don't
hasn't
want
been
to throw
adapted.
names out there, but it was the same curriculum for about 25 years.
Yeah. Do
Right?
you want to
20,
save
25
lives
years
and like change
for the
it just a
motorcycle
little
program.
bit, maybe? Because I mean,
Right.
all you have to do is just incorporate a little bit more time to teach people how to look, like what to look for, where to look,
Where
things
to
like
look,
that.
exactly.
They
yeah.
do. They teach them in your fucking mirrors, and then nobody looks in their mirrors,
No.
Yeah, yeah,
or
it makes
over their
a-
head and checks their blind
A
spot.
scan every 4 to 8 seconds. It
Yeah.
you know is me as a commercial truck driver, a
Yeah.
professional driver,
Yeah, the
32
Smith
years.
system
We
is
have
like-
different things we go through.
Yeah, the triangle
Uh,
scan.
Yeah, Smith system. We've done one company I worked for had decision driving, and we had to go out in a van, like one of the big 12-passenger vans, and we had to take turns driving, and we had an instructor in the passenger seat with clipboard with a bunch of check boxes on it,
Right.
and we had to do decision driving. And they would get questions asked to us. All right, what do you see now? What's the speed limit? What's that sign? What was the last sign you just saw? Did you see the car on your left? Like to feedback
Interesting.
what you did see or didn't see,
Yeah.
and then they'll tell you, okay, there was this happened, that happened, to get your mind
Thinking a
around
different
what you
way.
should be
Yeah.
looking
Thinking,
for and
yeah.
scanning. So
Yeah.
that isn't, unfortunately, in a world of motorists.
Yeah, it doesn't have it.
In the culture we have is it's basically as long as your driving record's clean, you just keep getting a renewal.
Yeah.
All right. Which to me, I would rather see. I don't know if the system could even hold it, but everyone going back and getting retested and have to do the
Every
written
so many years.
so that
Which
you're
was-
recurrent. I mean, just on the basic traffic laws, people have no clue.
Yes, which I'll reiterate on that real quick. And then Vince said, do the unexpected to make others do the expected. That's a good one. I like that. And now also, and when I've talked about my sons when they went through the driver's course. Like when I was in high school, we had driver's ed. Right, JJ?
Yep. That was
Okay.
fun. We used to race in the high school parking
Yeah,
lot.
that was in high school. Now they don't. Now they don't have that. You actually have to take a course. So it's you have to.
It's all
now,
private.
mind you. Yeah, and now you have to pay for that course.
Right.
Well, we
So,
still had to pay.
Now I have to.
Yeah, not
Not
much, though.
mine.
It
No.
was like $24 or something. We
Yeah,
drove a Toyota
I think it
Tercel.
was something
No,
like that.
the only thing. No, you'd have to pay for the
1984.
class. You had to pay for.
We had
like
to pay
when
for
you-
gas.
Yes, that was it. And gas was like $1 then, dude. So it wasn't $20. I think mine was like my mom and dad had to fork out like $10.
Yeah.
Which was to get us the whole pay for the and then get the certification paper so we can go to the DMV. And anyways,
I had a roommate, the Indian girl, for a while. She had to take the driving class, like I think 6 times just to be able to pass it because she
Oy.
couldn't drive. And she's licensed now, so
that's scary. But when I pay for the course for both my sons, and now it's 5 days. It is, or actually, it's 7 days. You have 5 days of classroom, and it's 4.5 hours. And then you have 2 hours. Saturday and Sunday is 3 hours behind the wheel each day.
Well,
nice.
Now, mind you, when I asked both my sons when they finished taking the course, either one of them, how much time did you spend talking about motorcycles? About 15 minutes, and that was on the 3rd day.
Yeah. And you know
That's it.
how much time they talk about the trucks?
Exactly.
About 15
Yeah.
minutes. And it's like, do you realize there's 80,000 pounds coming up your ass? You can't just pull in front of that
Exactly.
thing and jam on the brakes and take
Yeah.
your off ramp.
Most people don't realize that.
So how do you how can you only fit in diesel trucks and motorcycles, which are probably a large commercial vehicle is more hazardous to you, All right, so that's going to be like you as the car to a motorcycle rider.
Nope.
Yeah.
How does that factor in? How do you leave the two most extreme things out?
Yeah.
And
Actually,
then just
that's a
sit
good
there
way
and
to relate
concentrate
them.
on like, okay,
Yeah.
you have to come to a full stop at a stop sign. Well, it doesn't. It's not common. It's fucking common sense to come to a complete stop. It says stop.
No, it isn't. You're not
In-
supposed to
in
stop.
Actually, the law.
in
Roll
any
through, man.
language.
Roll through.
And I tell my students, in any language, what does stop mean?
Alto.
It means complete
stop.
stop.
The wheels
It-
stop
if,
turning.
if the wheel is still moving, you have not come to a complete stop. So
It
anyways,
means roll through in second gear, baby.
right, slightly tap on pedal.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was, it's unbelievable that they don't go over this, and people just basically just give them an idea of just not caring about these other things. But now back to motorcycles is one thing I say in class. I says, hey, you know what? So when we talk about scanning, right? How far ahead do you want to scan? How many seconds?
20 seconds.
20 minimum, but as far ahead as you can see.
20 seconds. So you have a picture and it has the freeway. It has all this, right? And I'm like going, okay, so now if you're doing 65 miles an hour, how much feet travels under the motorcycle
A lot.
per
know
second?
this.
Per
It's
second.
80 plus, because I know 50 is 73.
It's about 80 feet per second. So now,
That's ridiculous when you
what
think
is
about it.
80
Yeah.
times 20?
1,600,
Okay, how many feet are in 1 mile?
A lot.
5,200.
Yeah.
You
something.
do 80.
Okay, so very good. So,
So that's
now how-
almost a
so
quarter
that mean-
mile.
Yes, I see. So how much does that mean? How far scanning do you have to do? And people like going, and in the they go, wow, that's almost a quarter mile. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
because whatever's happening that far ahead could be hazardous. Because remember, you are only going forward.
Oh, you want to scan
right.
that far behind too, which is harder on a motorcycle, but
Well,
shit will surprise you.
Yes, well, we also do. We say, okay, how many degrees should you scan? 360. You need to you need to look forward. You need to left and right. We say it in the range rules.
Yeah. That's awesome,
Up
Dave.
and down
That's-
sometimes too,
You
because
know-
sometimes shit goes flying or there's shit on the road.
Well, look to
Yeah, there's
look
always
forward.
debris on the road.
So, anyways,
There's a freaking car. I was commuting to work the other day, and I was in the carpool lane, and I had a clear view in front of me, and there was a freaking shop vac in the carpool lane.
Oh, jeez.
The whole thing, right? I'm like, geez. So I'm like on the four ways on my bike, hitting the flashers, hitting the brake lights. There was a car about a quarter mile behind me,
You stick
and I'm
your
watching
foot
it
out
on
and
mirrors.
kick it out of the way.
Yeah, no. So
Oh, fuck.
it was sitting like right in the middle of the lane, and I'm watching the mirrors, and I'm like, certainly I see all the lights in the back of my bike, whatever. I just let them know, hey, there's something in the lane. Like it's as big as a freaking couch. You can't miss it. I'm watching my mirrors, and I'm like, holy crap, that car's not even, all you gotta do is move over and go around it.
Nope.
No, the car hit it
Right
dead
there.
nuts on. And
Oh,
it was
yeah, they
like
just
it was
have no
hilarious
clue, dude.
because when the driver hit it, okay.
Oh,
Let me
then
back
everything
up
that was
because when
sucked
I passed
into
that
it.
driver, the driver had the head
Yeah.
down on the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
because they were bouncing off the
yeah.
line.
Yep.
So distracted driving, right?
Yep.
So when that driver hit that shop vac, it was full of dirt,
Dirt, yeah.
and all the dirt went flying in the air because the thing broke apart. And I'm like, wow, you just wasted the front of your car because you weren't watching where you're going. But that's what you
But
you were
that's
just
also-
saying. Reason why I said that, David, because that's how if the traffic comes to a stop and you're on a motorcycle, you better get in between those cars and
Yeah,
split or
'cause they're
have your
not
eyes
paying
peeled
attention.
because someone come up behind you, they're doing 80 miles an hour. They're going to be not. It's not going to be in a good spot if you're not ready
No,
for it. Just
true.
the other
Well-
night, check this out. Just the other night, a car was bearing down on me, so I went over to the right side, and you can hear the anti-lock on the car. It was like,
Just engaging, yeah.
like, wow. If I'm not on my mirror seeing that and bail out of the way, I could be in that statistic right now, sitting on the
Yeah.
road getting ran
easily.
over because I wasn't watching. It's like
Yeah.
you got to be on it. You just have to. There's no protection on a bike.
yeah.
And so
So,
to go back
gotta be on the game.
to the other thing with the car hitting the shop vac. The problem is that people if they do get into an accident or something like that, and they know they were talking on their phone or paying attention to their phone, and they hit that, they won't even learn from that.
No, they won't.
They'll do the same freaking thing again.
Scary.
They'll
Yeah.
be driving and be messing with that phone. Really? Why is it so important? I mean, that's like, okay, would you drive and have your laptop in front of you doing this?
I've
I mean,
seen
think
it.
about
I've seen it.
It's the same exact thing.
Cops do that.
Yeah,
But any
To a different extent.
yeah.
that's,
will
that's, a,
say,
that's a
so-
totally different. That's another thing. I'm not going to bring that into the subject. But now also,
It's a different kind of distraction with the phone now, and it's almost like it's almost like a disease. People can't
Yeah.
help themselves.
Yes.
because I have to commute every day, and I probably pass. I mean,
Yeah.
Jordy and I
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about we probably pass 500 or 600 cars a day,
Oh, at least.
and when the traffic slows down, the first thing they do, boom, phone in their
Phone right
face.
up. Yeah.
And they're like, and some people look at. I will say, if you're splitting at a decent pace and people can see you coming up, they will give you space
Yeah.
unless you're
Oh, yeah.
riding stupid. But there are some that are so just out of the planet and they can't even focus on anything other than their phone.
Yeah.
But there's some people, I will say, they can seem to multitask, like they're out of the way and they do have their phone, but they're not bouncing out across
Yeah.
the lanes. So
Those are
some
very, very
people-
few and far between.
I'm
Yeah.
not condoning the behavior.
No,
I'm
hell
saying
no.
that some people can
Yeah.
multitask and operate a vehicle.
And some try to hold the phone in front of their fucking face while they're talking on it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
well,
There's-
that's what they're always doing. So Susan made a good point. She
That's
said
what
there's a
parents
lot
do.
of there is a lack of
Lack
repercussion,
of repercussion. Yeah.
for reckless driving
Yeah.
when there's cell phones in their face. Yes, and
Yeah.
even though they get fined for it, it's not
Actually,
enough.
my ex-girlfriend
It's
got a
not
ticket
enough.
for being on her cell phone.
well,
And
there's
how
not-
much was the ticket?
Like
enough,
a lot,
though.
over 500 or something.
no,
Well,
it
it
wasn't
used
at
to be-
first. The
it used
first
to be
one's 190.
380.
No, the first one's 190, and then it goes up from there dramatically.
Yeah.
But the first
See-
one is cheap. It's like
Oh, okay.
$190 for
Then
the
it might have
first.
been her third infraction
Yeah.
or something. So obviously she's not learning. So maybe when it gets to like 3,000, maybe she'll actually wake the fuck up.
Well, I think by then they start taking your license.
And if you
Yeah.
can't,
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
in this day and age, my whole gripe and complaint, mind you, I've been driving trucks 32 years. So we, as a professional driver in law enforcement, they look at us, we are professional trained drivers. We
Yeah.
need to be that. So we would be
Lead by example.
Yeah.
we would be the ones getting pulled over and getting ticketed for whatever reason because we are supposed to be the professionals,
Yeah.
right? Then my gripe and in the really biggest frustration I have, especially in the state of California, is a lack of enforcement. That's
Oh,
basically
yeah.
just isn't enough. There's not enough manpower out there,
There's-
or woman power.
No.
There's not enough.
Because our politicians are too busy trying to raise more taxes for whatever the hell
Well,
they're
see,
spending
well,
the money on.
Well, okay,
To
so
repair our roads.
well,
right?
well,
No.
Yeah.
Outside of that, no. But the thing is that I don't want to knock,
Fucking laughable.
our law enforcement. I completely
No, the ones that we
respect
have are
our
doing
law
too much.
enforcement, but there is few law enforcement to enforce a lot of the things. But I can guarantee you, if I was an officer and I seen someone there, I'd be pulling all of them over, dude.
Every single one.
All of them.
But that's
I'd be
not
pulling
even
them over, and I'd write
feasible.
a
I would
ticket,
target.
boom.
I would target people on their phone.
But now,
But
back to my point is when I get in my classroom and then we talk about things that are distracting. We talk about cell phones, communication devices, I should say. And I'm like going, okay, who in this room did it? Because majority of the time people drive. I said, okay, so on the way here, how many of you touched your phone while you're driving? Dude,
Most classes.
I will get some people that are actually brave enough and
Right.
actually will actually fess up and say I did, but in their face
You can see
when you
everybody.
can see it, and I might go and see that if I had like Becky raise your hand, see Becky raised her hand, but I can tell by the rest of your face that you did the same thing. Am I lying? Are you? I can guarantee you. Am I telling the truth right now? They'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, and I'll tell them, I'll say, now when you're becoming a writer, what I want you to notice is once you start writing and you start seeing these issues with people that are distracted driving and they come into your lane or become a hazard to you, that should cure you. And now why we are talking about this and why these things are so bad.
What I don't get though is so you still see so many people on their phone talking. Modern cars, most modern cars come with a Bluetooth setup and your phone is linked to your car.
And there's
why
been
the fuck do you need to
hardcore
still be on your
headless.
goddamn phone?
Right.
Right?
Or get a headset.
Get a headset. Do something.
Yeah,
you know, it's ridiculous, but it's Facebook. It's all the bullshit that people continue to look at that they're so targeted.
Yeah, as soon as traffic slows down,
that's
the
what it is.
first
They're-
thing they
oh,
boom on their
Yeah,
phones.
no,
like,
it's
right?
not the talking. It's not because if they're like this, at least
I see
now,
'em,
at least
or-
now their head is up and they're looking.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what they're-
alert.
somewhat.
but it's still a
Well,
distraction.
I'm just saying it is. I'm just saying.
You'll
but
take the
I'm gonna
lesser of
separate
evils,
I'm
right?
going to separate the two right now. So at least this way, at least at this point, even though it still bugs me, they're still distracted. But at least they're not. They're looking. But other than that, they're on
It's this.
Facebook or texting. And now they're doing this. Now they're not even looking around.
no,
yes.
dude, you're giving them way too much credit. They do this.
yeah.
Yeah, they're looking right at the phone.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
about a 20 car length gap in front of them because
Yeah.
that's how they drive on the freeways.
Yeah.
And that's for me and my visual when I'm commuting in.
Oh yeah, you can always
If there's
tell.
a big gap
Yeah.
and they're kind of bouncing in the lane, I'm
You already
hands
know.
down. I know what
Yeah.
they're doing, and they're just ruthless. Some people, I'll slow down and look at them like, really, and they'll be like, whatever.
So I
Yeah.
have
So-
Like, well, if I was a cop, it'd be fishing barrels.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
just
here-
boom.
It should be
All
legal
day
for us
long.
to shoot them.
Right.
You know
so
what?
Here's
Wow,
here's what I
damn,
do in the classroom. So after I go through that, I tell them, I say, okay, now
Grenade launcher.
I says,
Like Claymore mines all over the place.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I says everybody, majority of people have played Slugbug, right? So now what you want to do is go ahead and play. You know, if you have your kids notice a motorcycle, you can have maybe like little candies or something like that or whatever. Whatever you
let 'em
wanna-
punch each other.
Whatever you want to do, or punch, you know. But at least it's making them aware of a motorcycle rider.
Way to go,
Right.
Dave.
Yeah.
But
Bringing
I mean,
violence
is it
back.
going to take them
Yes.
getting them stop being addicted? Because the younger generation is the worst of it.
Oh yeah.
See, I do see people my age, our age, on their phone, but fewer than I do the younger generation. The younger generation
I
can't
respectfully disagree
can't
because
stop sitting there
while
messing.
you're in
And
your
whose
shop,
fault is it? Whose
while
fault is
while
it?
you're in your shop working on motorcycles, my whole day is out on the roads and on the streets.
no,
and believe me, it is like mental visual
Alls-
overload with people
alls
not
I-
paying attention to anything.
All I said was when I'm on the road. I'm not talking
It
about
is
because you're on the road all day.
bad.
I just said that when I notice people, I notice less people our age on their phone than I do the younger generation because this is part of their life.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And-
part of their life. That's what they grew up with. We
I was
didn't
just
grow up
gonna
with
say,
that.
whose fault
We grew up
is
with
it?
the fucking pager.
It's the parents' fault
Actually,
because
we
they
didn't
put
grow
that
up with a
phone in
pager.
their
There
face.
was nothing.
To entertain them.
Yeah. So what I you had a good point is to tell people get off their phones, but if you really want to
Make
a
it hurt.
home run, you tell them, and I say it to my boys, all right, and when they're driving, I said, look it, when you're driving your car and you're on your phone and you're texting or you're on your phone, I said, and you have a crash and there's injuries or God forbid a fatality, guess what an attorney's going to do? They're going to
Pull your phone
subpoena
record.
your phone records, and there's nothing you can do. That timestamp is right there, and they will just absolutely ruin you because of that. So
Yeah,
now
and-
you
and
are
you can go
absolutely
to jail for murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
you were absolutely distracted because you were on your phone. Is the reason why the accident happened.
Yep.
You know
but,
what else?
But even still, enforcement at that point, if you look at it, because I've looked that up too, is still not as strong as it should be.
Oh, absolutely.
here's what-
I say hands down, $1,000.
No, I'm saying if you get into an accident, no, you need to spend because if you were on your phone, you got into an accident and someone was injured, you should have a minimum of at least 3 months in jail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At least 3 months. Let you think about. Okay, now your entire life has been taken away from. Now you have nothing. You have no cell phone. You have no family. You just lost your job.
Ooh, I could be really
All right.
buff after
Or
3
if you're
months,
going
though.
to school, you just failed
And
now because
somebody's
now you
bitch.
can't go to school. So now that's 3 months would ruin somebody's life.
Fuck a month.
Now, all
week.
because you couldn't stop from telling your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever or your buddy, hey, let's have sushi or whatever. Now, 3 months, 3 months out of someone's life and have them go to prison.
Yeah.
Boom, guaranteed at that point. Now, but see that's not enforced enough right
Yeah.
now. It's not enforced enough now. I
Don't
guarantee
worry.
you.
We'll
you
send him
can
to
look
Club
it up.
Fed, not butt rape prison. We don't want to make it too bad.
I mean, if Jordan and I could write tickets on our commutes, I could write 1,000 a day.
Oh, easily.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool if we could do that?
It'd
Have
be so
electronic
awesome.
version.
It'd be so awesome.
Have electronic version, just like,
I
hey,
love it.
pull over.
Pull over.
Here you go. Here's your ticket. Oh, I'd
Right.
have a field day.
Yeah.
We get like $5 per ticket. I could make $100 a day.
The
What if you
state
could
would
just
love
do
it.
photo tickets by mail?
I wouldn't
for
even
that?
want money for it. I'd do it for free.
Right?
Oh
know,
yeah,
but
I'd do it for free. I'd get a
look
boner
at-
just
I'd have to-
giving
we'd
people
have-
ticket for that.
We'd have to get some compensation because I would never make it to work.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the thing. Yeah, be
I'd
9
be-
hours late to work.
Yeah, I would. I'd be on the freeway all day trying to get to work. So,
I
my,
still say we should get cell phone jammers and put them on the bikes.
so my
Yeah, that'd
my,
be a great idea. huh?
That's actually.
Yeah, my buddy, he's a CHP officer. He's like, "Dude, I'm in a full black and white with the doors just California High Patrol on the door. and
Lights on
people are-
top. Fucking.
I'm just staring at them, like, and they're just not even oblivious that there's
they're
a patrol
oblivious
car
to it,
right
yeah.
next to him. And
They
he's
don't
like,
care.
I'm looking, and whoop, okay, sliding behind him, light him up. And
And
they
they
don't even know.
the
Hey,
cop
do you
that's
know I
still
was
behind
next
him.
to you for a half a mile? No.
No,
Okay.
no.
Cool. Here's your
Oh
ticket.
no, there's
And then-
actual video.
Oh, you got a
can
headlight out.
you
You got
can
a brake
actu-
light out. Oh, you've been drinking.
Here's
Oh,
your
you
love
have-
note.
You have no registration, no current registration. Insurance is expired. Oh yeah, the ticket gets
That's
really
gonna be
long.
like
Oh, because you're on your
$5,000
phone.
ticket.
Go on YouTube, and there's several videos of officers sitting right next to a car. And actually, Christy chimed in; she agrees with us also. There's the officer be sitting right next to somebody, and they're sitting there on their phone, and they've got their body cam, and they're looking, and then
Oblivious.
he'll go rap rap like this, and they'll be like. It's like, dude, I was sitting here
Like, I'm
for
looking
the
at
whole
you.
thing. Now you're shoving it under your ass. I mean, really? You know?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know why I pulled you over? I have no idea. Holy, are you
Really?
dude? People, I swear to God, man, I swear to
Stupid.
God, dude. And people don't understand that it's a license is a privilege. It's not
Yeah,
a
it's
right.
not a right.
You're
Yeah,
not
it's-
given this opportunity to be able to drive as a right.
Oh
Okay.
no! My buddy's high patrol says, oh, they think they have a right to be on their phone. There's an entitlement society
yeah.
now that you
No,
everyone else does it.
I'm talking about a driver's license. You don't have a right to drive
Right?
a
They
car.
think it's they're entitled to
They're
it.
yeah,
entitled to it, yeah.
no, you don't.
I know they
No,
don't,
you
but they think they do.
My son pulled that shit with me.
I pay my taxes.
Oh, that's
I
a
pay
good
for
way to
my-
Yeah.
get the keys and
Oh,
the license
did he?
Oh
taken.
yeah, he's a. I said something to him, and I said, I'll take your license away. He's like, you can't do that, and I said, the fuck I can't. I said, driving is a privilege,
That's
and
right.
I said, you are underage, and I am your father, and if I don't think that you're fit to drive,
You
I
ain't
can take
driving.
your license away. And he was, and he's like, and I'm all, if you don't think so, fact check me. I said, I will take your license, and I will sell your truck, and you will have nothing.
Yes, that's
That
right.
gets their attention.
Good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I can call the DMV right now and say, you know what? Yeah, blah 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 Walsh.
He's a little
is-
fucktard.
Yeah, and he likes to text, and he likes to do this, and he likes to do that,
Right.
and instead of driving properly, and the DMV will actually yank his license.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with my dad. When my dad got to the point where he couldn't drive, I called the DMV and said, "Hey, you look, my dad is just too old to drive. He's not paying attention. He had 2 accidents in a month. I think we need to pull his license." I said, "Okay, no problem."
Yeah.
It was that easy. And so yeah, same thing.
So when I got hit on the freeway, Jordan's had a really bad accident. I've had a really bad accident. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know,
all know. We
you know.
almost lost Jordy.
Yeah.
Trust me. I mean,
Yeah.
that was
And-
probably
and-
one of the most painful things that
same
I've
with
seen
Matt
was
and
for
everything.
3 months to watch him and not even. He had no idea
He didn't know who he was.
Anybody was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Damn, you got your ass knocked in a neutral. Huh?
and were you commuting?
I like it.
Jordan was Jordan.
He's going to
were you-
work.
He was going to work. He was commuting. So I was commuting in my accident as well. And as far as I know, the guy that crossed the double yellows
I like it.
in front of me, he had no insurance that day. I know that for a fact. I don't know if he was on his phone, but crossed the double yellows, and to the best of my knowledge, never even got a ticket.
Oh yeah. Same with
Oh,
mine.
what?
and
jeez.
and I asked the highway patrol. I said, "Wait a minute, I'm looking at the highway patrol report, and I said, why wasn't he ticketed? And he said, well, because you didn't die.
What?
And I went,
No.
no.
You
I swear
got-
to
I know.
I
that,
swear
no,
to
no. I'm
fucking
saying.
God.
I'm saying that. Yeah, that's.
And he said, well, you
Wow.
know, he didn't. There was no repercussion because you didn't get killed.
What?
Well, and that's an integrity issue in my stance.
That
and
sounds
I went-
like. Was there witnesses?
No, this was I was talking to him in
No. Was there witnesses to your crash?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there were
yeah.
statements.
Yeah.
So it's clear. Oh, he should have been cited.
Yeah. I mean, he
His
crossed the
family
double,
with law enforcement side. He should have been ticketed. If there was witnesses that said he crossed over the double yellow, that's as good as gold to write
So
that.
I had
cite that,
I had
because
Russ Brown
someone
that
has to
represented me.
because that now becomes the party of liability.
Yeah.
So if there's like my friend does crash investigation, he's like, if there's no witnesses, he has to basically 50% your fault, 50% your fault. I don't know whose fault. I don't
And
know who
he-
ran the red light, but
And he
because-
ran.
oh wow,
It was a hit and run. They found him a mile and a half up the road. He pulled over at a park and ride because when I hit his quarter panel, I stabbed the brake and I hit his quarter panel and I popped his rear tire. He took off and I heard people as I'm sliding. I mean, I'm hearing things. I don't remember anything really, but I'm hearing people stop, and he just took off. I heard the car take off and then I mean everything was kind of it's fuzzy. You probably don't remember hardly.
No,
anything.
I was about to say that my cop had an
I remember
integrity.
sounds.
Whoever wrote the
and that's
report
about it. And
said they
but
interviewed
yeah,
me.
No,
My heart was stopped. I was in a coma.
No,
He said he
no.
talked to me.
No, see the difference
geez.
with Jordy's is that
he
was
talked to you all right, but you didn't respond, right?
No,
Exactly, yeah.
The thing with Jordy's is he was in the carpooling.
same here.
Okay, now and he was going down the 55 or the 57.
Yeah, I just got on the 5 from the 55.
Something like that.
Five
Okay,
and
so now he's in the
55.
carpool lane, and outside the carpool lane was doing about 10 miles an hour, where the carpool lane was doing 65 miles an
Right.
hour. And so this dumbass broad decided that she's too impatient and did not have a passenger, by the way, crossed over the WO line right in front of Jordy, and Jordy did a face plant at 65 miles an hour while this SUV was doing 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
See,
So
our accidents were
and-
almost identical.
yeah, but 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's almost the same effect as jumping out of an airplane, your parachute not deploying
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and hitting the ground. You know what I mean? So I mean, dude, literally, Jordy's face was
Well, then do what I do, freight
crushed,
train it.
man.
Remember when we
Freight
were
train.
splitting? Did you see me like when I hit the air horn and
Yeah.
the lights strobed and that car veered back in the lane?
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of motorists because all the lights coming.
I'm almost thinking about getting a bike like that. I mean,
Dude,
like, me and Jordy are coming back from Adelanto this week.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordy
teaching.
followed
I just
me and
don't
it was
commute
proven, right?
anymore.
You see
Yeah,
what
it
happened?
was
I
awesome.
blinked the lights and people just go, "Whoa, what the hell is that?" They
Well,
get out of the way.
Well, me and Jordan
those
are
were
coming, we're
great.
coming down
Yeah.
the Cajon Pass,
it's-
and
it's
obviously when
effective.
you're coming down the Cajon Pass on the weekend, it just gets very crowded.
It's a
Yes.
it's a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so now we're lane splitting, and literally we keep getting split up because people are like blocking
Yeah.
and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Let
though
me know.
we're
I'll
like-
come. I'll come intercept you guys. We'll ride down and I'll leave.
Right, but it's just like, oh my god,
There'll be 5 feet in between cars. We'll just cruise on through nice and easy.
So I'm actually thinking about getting me a bike. you
Yeah,
know,
America
like
Mike.
yours.
Ask America Mike. It should be helping with the lights you put on his bike. It should be helping.
Oh yeah. That. Oh my.
I think he's
God,
only ridden it
those
once
things.
since then, hasn't he?
No, he rides.
ridden
He
it?
rides constantly.
He just
yeah.
doesn't ride as much as we do. That's all.
Yeah.
He
But
just
I mean,
doesn't want to. He doesn't want
I-
to race.
I can't tell you how many times the extra lighting on my bike has made a difference between someone cutting me off and where I had to make an emergency reactive move, which I'm ready for anyways. But the lights, they go to make that swerve maneuver, and then they look in their mirror right as they're going, and they see all the lights, and they swerve back in their lane. Meanwhile, I'm like on my, on guard, thinking they're going to
Yeah,
keep
you're on
going, but they
edge.
don't.
Yeah.
Well, but
But
see,
it makes a huge
It
difference.
does help like that because, like for JJ, he rides a CBR 600R. I mean, how many times are you lane sharing, and then because people know they can tell. It's
Actually, people really recognize me a lot, which surprises me because I know there's some people that are completely blind, but I've had a lot of people start the swerve and go back. It's probably the LED lights we put on the front, but I don't have like other
anything
external
helps,
lights.
But you're probably riding at a speed too that people can see you and you can
And
react to it.
yeah, I go slow.
A
when
lot
I
of
lane
riders
split.
ride way too fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll let I see so many riders come up behind me, and
Just
you see
hauling
me ride. I mean,
ass.
I'm pretty aggressive splitting, but I'm also in control. I know where I'm going
Yeah.
to go when that car veers into my lane. Well, I'm just going with the car, and I've had to do it multiple times. Like they're going left, I go left with them, and I'm
I've had
slowing
to do
down.
that quite a few times too.
And one, it was on the 710, and the guy just swerved over because there was no one next to him, but he didn't see me. But I was right
You
there
just
by
go
his
with him,
bumper, and I went
yeah.
with him, and I was literally like 3 inches from his mirror, and he was like, his eyes got this
'Cause they
big,
don't
and then
look, they just
he,
change
and he went
lane.
back
Yeah.
and then went
Yeah.
back over, and I'm like, dude, next time look in your mirrors.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean,
People, it's like
or
with
turn your
phones. They
head.
put their turn
Yeah.
signal on and they think they're entitled to the lane next to them. Like, no, fucking
Yeah,
look.
if there's no car right next to them, they think that they're
Yeah.
good to go. That's as far as they're looking. Oh,
Right.
there's no one right there.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing when I'm driving the truck. So don't just
Oh
think it's
yeah,
motorcycles.
absolutely. They
I'm
just
in
don't pay
I'm
attention.
in the freaking gigantic truck, and
And
they don't see
see
me.
you.
So some people just don't see shit.
Because they don't.
Okay.
Because they're
Right.
not, they're just not
only
looking.
Yeah, they're
It's
focused
tunnel
on.
vision.
Oh, I have to get off this ramp right here.
Right.
And there's no one right next to me.
Yeah.
Which because I'm have 3, 10,
Yeah.
20 car length gap because I got to be able to stop when these yahoos do these lane changes because I got a lot of truck to stop. And they just go and then start jamming on the brakes, and I'm like, all right, how much are you going to push on these brakes?
I
And
like to watch the
meanwhile, I
YouTube
start
videos of
going to
drivers
the
that
air
just run
horn.
through them because they can't stop.
I start blowing on the air horn, and then they get startled and they take off. It's like, really, I have to go
Yeah.
all the way to blowing the air horn before you even notice that I'm behind you?
All right. Well, back to the back to the lane splitting thing is riding within a safe speed.
Yep.
And so when we're coming, I'm coming down the hill.
Oh,
on
we
the
need to
Colin
sign out. I
Pass.
forgot to give us the 2-minute warning.
Oh, do we? Oh, just on the radio one. We're still gonna be
Yeah,
live on.
we'll be live on
the
YouTube
after
and-
hours. So
Okay.
just sign off on the radio.
I wasn't watching the
app.
clock, and there it went.
I know. We got a great bike night happening right now.
Now it's the after party.
Okay, so we so anyways, but the lane splitting thing, it's Jordy he's always been, we've been riding together for many
Oh,
years,
yeah.
thousands of miles on any of this, but
that clip?
I've always taken point. I've always taken point, whether it be it doesn't matter who I've ridden with. Everyone just always gets and lets me lead. Right? How fast was I going when we were lane sharing?
Not fast at all.
Nope. Broke that down, and I was just, and just so in case someone, because there was like 4 or 5
Oh,
times
yeah.
before we even got to the 138, between the top of the Colin Pass and 138, where people just like cut right in front of me.
Yep.
Plenty of time just to sit there and, okay, I wasn't even like making a quick stop. I was just, I seen it, was able to
react, yeah.
react
So
and call it a day.
If you guys follow Fast Eddie, I watch most all his videos that come out. A lot of time I don't have time to reshare them, but he just did a lane splitting video and
Yeah.
broke it down verbally, and it was great. It was like textbook, using a high beam to get people's attention.
Yeah.
And they do but it's all key to how you ride. Again, driving is a privilege. Lane splitting, lane sharing is a privilege. And I hate to see it abused, and a lot of people out there
A
just
lot of people
riding like
abuse it.
fools. But don't abuse it because it's a wonderful thing. I mean, I if we couldn't lane split in the state, I wouldn't commute on a motorcycle to
No,
work.
hell
I would just
no.
go get in a cage and
It's not
clog
worth it.
up the freeway.
It's not worth it.
You'd cook yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
one, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be no point. Why am I going to sit out here in bumper to bumper traffic and behind someone's bumper and get, especially this day and age with a distracted driver, and
just
get rear-ended?
Crushed.
When
yeah.
I can just sit there and sit in an air conditioned car too, like everybody else. But thankfully, we can lane split and lane share and get through this traffic. So the only other state starting
Utah
next
now.
week,
Utah, yeah.
Utah's going to be able to lane filter. It's a great start for for another state to grasp onto that.
Yeah.
What
Well,
is lane
so-
filter?
So the traffic has to be totally stopped.
Okay.
And you can't lane filter any faster than 15 miles per hour. But right now, you can only they're only
Which is
allowing
still
it
pretty
to do.
fast if traffic is pleased.
Oh,
It's still
yeah, hell
fast
yeah, that's-
enough. It gets you through, get to the front of the line, so you're not sitting in bumper to bumper. But you can only do it on secondary roads and main roads. You cannot lane split on the freeways in
Oh,
Utah,
huh.
which is fine because Beth and I, we just spent a
Yeah.
weekend up there a couple months ago. And yeah, I don't think they'd be
They're
doing
ready
much,
for that?
No. I'm saying as a rider, I don't think I'd be doing much lane splitting on the freeways anyways because everyone's
Oh.
going 70 miles an hour.
Nice.
Speed limits are 70.
Everybody goes 70.
It's a culture thing, okay? Everybody's trained different. Everyone's more laid back. They're
Yeah.
not in a big rush to run you over to get somewhere, okay? In Beth, I was driving Beth nuts because as a commercial driver, we're on the freeway going. I'm like, look at this. This is
'cause
insane.
you're used to California.
Everyone's going exactly the same speed. Nobody's driving in the fast lane. It's actually open.
Yeah, because it's a
And-
passing
and-
lane,
it's
not
and
a
it's a
fast lane.
passing lane.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: when you get on the on ramps, you better be on that throttle because
Oh yeah.
here in this state, everyone slows down. No, they will. You'll be driving down the shoulder at
They
70
put
because they do not
stoplights on the
slow
on
down.
ramps here.
Yeah, and then we were on a side street, and it was a couple coming up to an intersection. That car stopped, and they went across the intersection. Here, I've seen people almost drive over pedestrians to get
Yeah.
around corners. There, it's like, wow, look at that. They're actually stopping for pedestrians.
So they do it like I do when I'm on the road. Like, nope, you have the right of way.
Yeah, it's a culture
well,
thing.
Back
for sure,
to the
but-
lane splitting thing. There's a reason why we need to be able to lane share or lane split or white line, whatever you want to call it, is that motorcycles don't have the cooling capacity that cars do.
Yeah, nor do we get to sit in air conditioning.
And we don't have the air filtration system. So we have a helmet. So if we're stuck in traffic, what are you breathing?
Yeah, the exhaust right
Carbon
in front of you.
monoxide.
Yeah, you're doing. You might as well take someone's exhaust pipe, put a flex tube up to your face, and start breathing.
The biggest benefits,
That's-
all we hear
and-
is people that don't lane split or ride motorcycles complain about us all day
Yeah.
long.
Right.
And I said, okay, you know what?
Oh my god, I got so freaked out.
If you took everybody off motorcycles, now
Put
you're
them in
going to make
cars?
the
Yeah.
congestion even worse.
Exactly.
So what you need to do is actually people need to be trained, and we need more people on motorcycles to reduce the congestion.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you know
Well,
what they need
and
to
then-
do? They need to give us our own goddamn lane.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
motorcycle lane.
Absolutely.
Why
Which-
not?
Which
Okay?
was my next
We
point.
need 4 feet. 4 feet is all a motorcycle
And
needs.
that's plenty.
Yeah.
Right? And what is the double yellow line?
4 feet.
Okay,
Two
it's 4
walls.
feet, right?
Double,
that nobody pays attention to.
No.
Which
no.
which
Wait,
was
Chris, are you saying build a wall?
Build
Build
the
that
motherfucking wall.
so which was my next point. Which was my next point.
That's right. A moto wall.
Moto wall.
Is that we need to have the air on our motorcycles to cool it, because a lot of bikes are still air oil cooled. My Harley is air oil cooled. So basically,
Yeah, she don't like to go slow in the
if I don't
hot.
have air flowing over my engine, it's going.
yeah,
to,
your engine? How about-
it's
how about
getting
this engine,
super
too?
duper- Yeah, true.
Even commuting home,
Yeah,
even lane
because-
splitting, I get home, I feel like
Super
I just
hot,
dumped a
yeah.
bottle of
Yeah,
water in my
because
my
we
suit.
are also supposed to be ATGAT. Now, if you can put it in, if you can have like a driver say, okay, let me tell you what, you're going to drive your car. We're going to take the air conditioning out of your car, and what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you wear all the same gear that a motorcycle rider wears, and we're going to
And
see
sit in
how
traffic.
and sit in traffic and see
Yeah.
how comfortable you are.
Yeah.
But that's what they don't teach. See, we can teach in the motorcycle training this stuff, but what are we going to do? We're going to invade like a driver's ed course, and it's
Hey,
not
maybe
gonna
we should.
happen.
Well, like I was
We
saying,
should.
no,
but we
it
can't.
can happen. It's education.
Yeah, but
Okay,
but what's it going to take? So all they do is more riders get injured and maimed or killed, but they don't make any more. All they want to do is put more restrictions on us as riders.
right.
So and back to going, and there's people trying to take lane splitting out. Now,
Right,
yes, there
right.
are riders that
Are assholes.
misuse, the privilege we get to actually lane share. But there's a lot of responsible ones that So you have to do the give
It's
and
the one
take
bad
thing.
guy that gets the attention, not the 10 good guys doing
Exactly.
it, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, like when
Because
so when you-
we're visible. We're and I got an argument with a guy. It's always an argument with me on Facebook when these people say that. I'm like,
Oh
look
yeah,
at
it is.
we're only 7% of the registered population in the state of California. How can 7% of us be causing so much doom and gloom with all these motorists?
right.
It's not.
I
It's
said
the
it's-
1% out of that.
I said, most likely you got your mirror torn off because you're crowding the guy into the next lane All you got to do is move 4 inches to the left side of your lane, and I can get my bike through there easily.
Right. So now back to what Chris mentioned is a motorcycle lane. Now, not all freeways have that 4-foot buffer between the carpool and the rest
Yeah,
of
and
the lanes.
Vince Grievous says the double yellow is a barrier. Don't go there. But
exactly.
okay, it's supposed to be a
But
wall.
now check this out.
That's why I
So
said
now
what I said.
now check this out. So now they're reconstructing freeways, and how many billions and trillions of dollars is it costing to add an extra lane? Because now they're doing it.
That you got to
toll
pay
lanes.
for.
Now the
That
toll
we've
lanes
already
that-
paid for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
That we've already paid for. Yeah. Now they're going to make more money. But now that little
Thanks,
lane.
Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom.
How much would it cost? How much would it cost? Now, mind you, how much would it cost if they were to just put
For another 3
motorcycle lane?
Right.
All it is paint. So
Right.
if you were to put like a yellow line, I don't know whatever line they want to use,
Pink,
but
who gives a fuck?
a white line, whatever
Right.
yellow line, whatever, and put motorcycle lane
There-
and just have that.
There's some
right
areas.
there as we can sit there.
There's some areas right
Think
now
about
you
it.
could do it. Like when I come up to 57 this evening to come up here, there's some spots where there's the double yellow and then there's a big gap and then a white line, and there's at least 4 feet between that white
But
line
you're
and
still
the
not
double
supposed
yellow.
to cross over that.
I'm-
though.
You can cross
That's
the
the
light.
whole thing. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
here's-
No. Your point is exactly that. So there's a 4-foot gap in between. Where do the motorists? About 1.5 feet to the left side of the white line, and there's this huge row that you could put a bike lane in there,
Right. And
or
also
at least
gonna-
paint lines like that so that keeps the traffic out of that
Yeah.
lane.
And it's not going to cost anything but
No.
paint.
you
They
got
don't
the width
have
to
to
do it.
widen the road.
Well, if you have the width to do it, some freeways
That's
are too
what I'm
narrow.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
There
But
are
on the-
some that are not, and some that are.
On the 5 through Orange County, there's a
Oh, they're
I mean,
gigantic. It's like 6,
yeah.
7
You could
feet.
you could put 2 bikes side by side because there's so much room between the lanes and the carpool lane.
Okay, here's my argument. All right. Bicyclists have their own damn lane.
Yeah.
For a
right?
very good reason.
And it's painted.
Thank you.
It's painted. Okay, now in the city of Rancho and even further, they've gone through and at every freaking side street they've done green
Yeah.
striping. Okay, and then put up signs. So our taxpayer dollars have gone to put up signs to look out for bicyclists.
Yeah, and how many bicyclists are using that
And-
lane?
Right. And
None.
And do they
Yeah,
pay,
how many bicycles per motorcycles, right?
Okay, but more importantly,
And
do
the-
they
and the-
pay
and the-
registration?
No.
Do they pay
No.
registration?
Just gonna
Fuck
say
no.
that.
Right.
Just gonna say that. Did they
I'm
pay
sorry,
a
I'm getting
diamond
angry,
registration?
but
No,
they don't.
Zilch not. I paid $223 for my stupid registration
Right.
last year. What do I get for
They're
that?
still considered a street legal
Cut
vehicle.
off.
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
the
but-
street
but-
legal,
but
They
still-
should have to
Oh,
register 'em.
come on.
Because bicycles are
Shut up,
considered
Dave.
vehicles in California.
Well, but see the
No,
point.
no,
no,
you're
no,
supposed
you're
to
right. If you're going to
follow
ride it on
the
the
law.
road and they're going to do all that stuff with taxpayer dollars, they
Right.
should be getting something back from that.
Yes, the whole point is yeah, exactly.
I hope Gavin's
You're
not listening because
you're
that's
not
just more
paying-
taxes.
You know, fuck Gavin.
They're already
I hope
trying.
Gavin's listening because I'm going to give him. An
I
earful.
sure hope he is too.
I didn't vote for that fuck.
Yeah, SB1 / no on 6.
But-
That's your money right
But
there.
there's
$52 billion.
and actually,
Yeah.
and actually, we
And the
have,
state has a surplus of like 23 billion.
and actually,
Fix the roads.
in classroom, we go through some slides that show, where they're just like a photograph, right? And one of them has a bicycle
A
lane.
bicycle lane in it.
And then a car and then a bicyclist coming in. So think about that.
Yeah.
So how many motorcyclists per bicyclist are actually sharing the road,
Yeah. Yeah.
percentage wise? Yes.
Oh, in my city, on Rosemead Boulevard, they made a special protected lane for bicyclists.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cordoned off.
But they can't do it for a motorcycle.
We could go
can-
sit. I could go sit out there and videotape for 25
Yeah.
minutes, and I could bet you $100
Unless it's maybe
in
a
20
weekend
minutes.
or something when nobody's working.
You might see one bicycle
Yeah.
rider.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
Right.
and we could be using that lane.
Right. Thank you.
And they put up pylons.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
pylons
They
cordoned
took out-
off that.
they
that
took
fr-
out
They took out a whole
parking.
lane.
They
of
took
parking,
out.
Yeah.
They took out parking for automobiles to put this stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
lane
and
in.
remember the whole
nobody uses
advertisement
it.
on TV where it said you need to look out for bicyclists and you need to give them at
3
least
foot.
3 feet when you're passing and all this
Yeah.
other crap. But have they gone that far for motorcyclists?
No.
No.
You know what's crazy?
Cars hate
they make
bicyclists,
They
too.
make us
Oh, they
stay
do.
3 feet from them. And
Bicyclists
we all
hate
ride.
motorcyclists.
We all ride the canyons and mountains. How many of those guys? I think they're nuts. To be honest with you, the road bikes with the tires about
Yeah.
a 1/4 inch wide.
You know what I do? When they're riding 2 or 3 wide, I slap them on the ass when I go by.
Jesus. Come on, dude.
It's weird. They actually made a law to allow them
Oh,
to
my.
do that, but that's
fuck.
more dangerous.
Yeah,
You know what's funny?
and they take advantage of that though. They ride out about 3.5, 4 feet
They
in the
run-
lane,
they run-
knowing that
they run
oh,
3
you gotta
bicyclists
you gotta be
wide.
this far away from
Now,
me.
And then they flip us off.
Bullshit.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Funny
Not
story.
fair.
First, Vince chimed in. He said that we're lucky to get a lane because others. Wait, what was it?
Other states are still years
No.
behind us.
Oh, bikes are the vehicle of the bicycles are the vehicles of millennials.
That's because they can't
Motorcycles
afford cars.
Oh, shit.
But you know, you were talking about like
Because they don't want to work.
No, fuck.
Whenever I see like people like you ever see a driver when they're driving and they got their fucking foot hanging out the fucking window?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That means you're going to the
Dude,
beach.
if I'm lane splitting because I'm combining the two conversations here, and I see someone like that, I reach over, I just pull my clutch in, and I
Tickle.
I grab their foot. And in my rearview mirror, you see, oh!
On a serious note, that pisses me off, those people smoking and hanging their cigarette out
Oh
and
my
smack it out of
God.
their hands.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually illegal to do that. It's actually illegal to flick your ashes out or have a lit object outside of your vehicle.
They
Well,
think
see,
they're not
there's actually
sticking
a
up
law
inside
behind
their
that.
car.
Well,
And
see what?
my buddy, the CHP officer, he's been writing so many tickets and they don't even know. Yeah,
But-
because
but
you
when-
start fires when you throw that cigarette
yeah.
out.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you start
Yeah.
fires too, when you flick your cigarette out, there's a motorcyclist that could go in their helmet,
Or a
go in their
bicy-
eye,
or a bicyclist
or in their
or
gear.
whatever.
But
Yeah.
when you do that, because I'll share a funny story with you, is when I do smack it, when I smack
You fucking
Smack
too.
it, all right.
I can't do anything with you
I like
too.
smacking it too, but
Nice smack.
I hit their hand so it's going into their vehicle.
Into their car. you
Zig
go.
sees feet,
Smack.
starts smacking it.
Right. I don't smack it down.
Dude, I high-fived a guy one time. Passenger, arm out the window. I was just like, high five.
Nice.
No, I
You want to
had,
see somebody freak out.
I've seen passengers get scared and pull their arm in, and like all of a sudden when I'm approaching.
You fucking broke it, dude.
you got a hard
job.
on over there.
That was great.
I came right out of the hole. Stick her back in the hole, Zeke.
He smacked it too
His
hard.
microphone come
Oh,
on.
you got
Came
bolts
undone.
coming out.
Man, this is
Good job, Zig.
It's WKRP in Cincinnati angle now.
No.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, with the microphone hanging straight down.
You need some Viagra for that mic.
Man,
You lost your
Well, you
nut.
know, the funny part
you
is-
lost your nut, Zig.
He's barely touched it the whole
Zig's
time. So
nuts just
whoever was
fell
in here
out.
before fucking did something.
obviously the nuts are missing.
Just smack it a
Look
little.
for your
You'll
nut.
get the result you
I think
want.
there's a nut missing.
I just gotta poke it through the whole hole.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jordy, go over there and help him out with
Hold
this.
this right here.
Help him with
You
his
need a little
hole.
hair around
I'm not
it.
his lady. I'm not gonna guide it in.
He can't find his hole, and he needs help find his nut. Can you help his nut? He's got nuts he needs to put back on after he
Jesus
slides through the
Christ.
hole.
There is so much wrong with this room.
I'm-
Everybody in here, you're all fucked up.
Look at we're on the radio. People don't understand. I'm giving a description right
I
now.
know.
So
It's okay. You can see it on the YouTube feed. They're right in front of the camera.
so Jordy's.
Zig's
I mean, yeah, Zig's.
You hold that. You're a pro at holding that shaft. You do it just right. Look how he's
Yeah,
cupping
look
it.
at that. Yeah.
Oh shit! For God's sake, why can't I?
That's why I don't keep it on me.
Oh fuck!
Maybe you should smack it a few times.
Oh shit! What is it? What are you? 13?
Oh boy, we got
Well, the
mechanic.
pin came right out of the deal. Right?
Wondering when
We
you were
got
gonna figure that out.
motorcycle mechanic. Zig.
Oh, I see what it is. I got it.
We got Avenger cycle repair work going on right now.
Got it.
There it is.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is it's not a motorcycle, so he doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
with it.
right.
Okay.
See, the nut. You lost your
I'm
nut.
good to go.
The nut did fall out. That's why it came out. All right, a little technical
that's it.
difficulty. No, there's the nuts.
Well,
missing.
yeah. Well, see, that's why it came out.
Yeah,
So.
it came
So
out.
whoever
It
installed
slipped
that or was
out.
here before fucking did something stupid.
We could just put some tape
So-
over it so it doesn't fall out again.
Some duct.
Yeah,
Dave?
hold the nut in
We got
there.
these
I mean,
little
hold
things.
the screw in.
So I'm going down the
Some pink tape.
this was years ago. So I'm going down the
It's green,
405
too.
freeway, and it's when I lived in LA. And I was going the 405, and I was getting ready to exit Inglewood Avenue, and there was a guy in this little sports car, and he was smoking a cigarette, right? So he gets a cigarette, and I'm right behind him, and as we're getting, I go ready to go to lane split down to the exit on her, and the guy flicks his cigarette, and it lands right. Boom! It just goes boom like this, right?
Oh.
So and now it's sitting, and I was on my 84 GBZ 550, so it just kind of like sat right there, and so I get it, and now we all turn right. Now we get to Manhattan Beach Boulevard in Inglewood, and so we get up, and the guy rolls up, and I take the cigarette and I throw it into his lap. Right? He doesn't see me do this.
Oh shit.
So he doesn't see me do this. And so now I'm like, he's only like maybe a car or two cars behind me. And all of a sudden I see the guy like this, right? Because now his nuts are getting hot. And he fucking we start pulling forward, and the light turns green. And then he's like, he gets next to me, and he's like, blah, 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 and he's flipping me off, and he's like, pull the hell over like this. All of a sudden I hear this bloop, 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 bloop. and so now there's a cop behind us.
Right.
Oh, shit.
And so now we pull over, and the cop walks up, and I'm stopped in front of the car.
He saw you.
Yeah.
And the cop and he walks up to me and goes, "Hey, yeah, I already seen what happened. Go ahead, take off."
Oh shit.
Yes. That's awesome.
Nice. Because that's that is $1,000 ticket.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
He's seen the whole thing. He was right behind me.
Oh,
he goes,
shit.
"Yeah, I was right behind you the whole time, dude." So, and I wasn't paying attention because I had a cigarette in my lap.
Yeah, it's
So I
littering
wasn't even
and
paying
also
attention.
throwing a lit
Yeah.
object out.
So
Yeah,
wait,
so
he
it-
threw
it
it
was
out
fun.
and you picked it up, or it landed on you?
No, it landed. It was sitting right in my crotch. So I mean, instantly. So
Wow.
I picked it up and I had my clutch hand. So when I got to the light, and then when we started to take off, the green light went off, and he
chucked
got
it
next
in.
to me, and I went like this right into his lap.
God, dude, I see so many
And he
people.
didn't even see me do that. He just kept on going. He's like,
I see
gotta
people
get rid of
open
this."
car doors and dump a whole bunch of trash out on the ground, and I'm like, that makes my blood boil. I want to run up
It
there, grab
does.
the trash, and then go to the next stoplight and run it and throw it, open the door and throw it back in their lap. I wish I could do it, but possible way with the big truck.
Yeah.
But it's like it drives me nuts. I'm like, really? One, you open the door in the traffic lane, so if someone's lane splitting, filtering
Yeah.
through, you're gonna open the door on a motorcycle, it's bam right into it. And then you dump your trash on the ground.
Yeah.
Where's that trash gonna go? Into the storm drain, out into the friggin' river and out to the ocean. It's
Right.
these people.
Well,
Grenade
or-
launcher.
Or worst case scenario, they flick their going to go home
And it starts
pass.
another
'Cause
highway
one of-
fire, and it burns for 3 weeks.
Yeah, going to go home pass. People
Yep.
flick their cigarette out, and they don't know it during the summer. It's dry.
Yeah, it blows. You can see it at night, especially the red
Yeah.
ember just going right after the
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah, it's like that's why you have an ashtray in your car, you fuck.
Grenade launcher.
Right.
Heat
Go to
seeker.
guns.
Heat seeker.
So Vince said, we're lucky we are able to, let alone get a lane. We're lucky to be able to lane split, which I agree.
Yeah,
true.
and
But
was,
I think, the
and very
point
odd that
is
Utah's going to
that-
be the second state. I always thought it'd be Oregon because they've been really close to
Yeah.
pushing it through. Same with Washington, and then it just stalls out. But here, Utah out of nowhere, and that's a brand new bill. A guy from St. George, Utah, a Republican senator in St. George was the one that introduced the bill this year to the floor, and it got passed.
Wow.
So this is brand new. This is
Yeah.
like cutting
Go
edge.
Repubs.
So yeah.
Fuck.
So it is a very conservative state. So maybe
Trump
that's what-
2020.
Zig's trying to lose customers to his radio show.
No, because you know what?
Mega
They'll still listen,
Yeah.
even though it's controversial.
I know.
Yeah,
They'll still do it.
it's like the Howard Stern show. Why do people listen? Because they want to hear what he's going to say next.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Even if they hate him. And Howard's freaking out of control.
Isn't he?
He's funny to listen to.
Kind of like having one of or a couple of the JJ's band members inside. The guy started sitting there, like talking about Trump. He goes, "No, you're in the wrong show, buddy."
Oh shit. He
He was sitting right there, and he's like, "Yeah, well, wait." Before you go any further, you're on the wrong show, buddy. So you need to shut up.
Is that the drum clinic or
Yeah,
something?
I just keep
No.
my mouth shut about that stuff.
No, we have a JJ's a couple.
Yeah, Family of Light.
Yeah.
We had on the air before one of our first, or not our first gigs, one of my first gigs with the band.
No, and the band is really good. They're very talented. I love the sound. It's like it's like 70s, style. But
Oh, we
as soon
just
as-
recorded some live
So
videos
why wasn't
on
he allowed
Saturday.
to talk about
But
Trump?
no, because I said something about Trump, and then he started saying
Oh.
something,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and he
whoa.
realized really quickly. He was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you need to stop right there, dude.
And then the
Wrong-
rest of
wrong
the show,
show.
he was like a little kid sitting
He
in the
was.
corner.
He sat there like this.
Dude, I listen to certain shows for different things, and the last thing I want to do is listen to politics in a certain shows. I don't
Yeah,
want
no.
to. That's what I want to be entertained. I don't want to
exactly.
talk about. I don't want anything to do with that.
And I think we.
Oh, hey,
I
look
mean,
at Lee Parks has joined. Hey, Lee.
What's up, Lee?
We've kept.
I
it
would love to get him
moderate.
in
We
there. That'd
we
be
do
fun.
little
Yeah, that'd be
plugs,
bitchin'.
but it's in joking humor kind of stuff.
Well,
so.
since he knows that Lee Parks did join in, Lee,
Hi, Lee.
I need you on the air, dude.
I know. You
Yeah.
call in. What's the phone number? Tell me to call in. Does it still work?
Not only does it want to call,
909
but-
323 2626.
Yeah, you can call in live, Lee. They just started the phones back
and
up.
and I also want him on. I want you in studio, Lee.
in studio.
Yeah, and
Well, not right now, Chris.
Well, you know what's
Right
great
now.
because I like
Right
to
now.
pick his brain. Like last time,
oh man,
when
I
we
love
had-
talking to Lee. We can talk about 10 different things in a matter of an hour, and it's so fun.
Well, the last time
Cool
that we
stuff.
went to the PDW,
which I'm still waiting for my link.
he we were sitting there now. We were taking lunch, and then he walked out, and we're right above.
Horse thief?
No,
No, not horse thief.
Big Willow.
Big Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, I was just gonna big.
So I said, hey Lee, here my toughest part of this track is going from 4, 5 to 6. What? Here's what my path was. I tried different ones, and it doesn't seem like I have the right combination. And then he said, well, because he rides 150s, and he says, okay, well, here's
You mean
what.
he rides everything?
Right. He says,
Yeah.
he says, yeah, right. But he says when he races, that's what he's running, the smaller CCs.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes,
Yeah,
here's what
that's
I
fun
do.
stuff.
He goes, coming up in from turn 3 into turn 4. Here's your path. Try this. And then I went to Big Willow after that. Dropped at least 15 seconds off my lap time.
Wow.
Just negotiating that. Because I slowed down so much. I'm like, oh, God, I couldn't figure out that right.
Yeah.
And then once he told me, man, I was like, oh yeah, okay, now it's
Lee,
a lot of
Lee
fun.
has refined it, practice it, and then you teach it, and then you learn the tricks. It's all
Well,
about learning the skill. And you have
exactly.
to actually go out there and train and learn, and that's how you get better.
Well, plus he's been racing for who knows God how many years. He knows Willow Springs, like it's like his backyard.
Sure, but just like both of us been riding dirt all our life, but we just kind of started there. You start out somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just as experience and time, and then how much knowledge do you want to gain from something is really
Right.
key. What's your drive to want to know and want to learn so that it can make you a better rider, make
Yeah.
you a better person, whatever it may be. I think that us being MTC instructors makes us better humans, period. Our communication,
Right.
being able to speak in a crowd. I mean, it's number one scared people. People
Oh, yeah,
freak
people
out,
hate
speaking in a
public
crowd.
speaking.
But we can speak in public because we do it every weekend.
Well,
Yeah.
and then passing on knowledge, in which we covered, which we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier, how the driver's training doesn't cover a lot with commercial or motorcycles. What do we do when we're teaching? We're constantly telling our students how to be in classroom,
Yeah.
how to be aware of everything around us, all the cars and all this and all that. But of course, the first thing is to be ACAT.
Yeah.
All the gear all the time.
Yeah.
And
just for the
that's one of the things
slide,
that just
not
like,
the ride.
like it slays me that I still get students that they will show up. They'll bring their extra gear. I had a guy show up on a bike, and he only had his Icon
Chest
vest
protector.
and then a short sleeve shirt, but he had gloves. He had a nice helmet.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But he had his jacket bungee corded to the back of his.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
I'm like,
It was
had the-
you
That's
had
not-
yeah.
it.
He's
You had
protected.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine, right?
You had the jacket right there. Why should it be on? Why should it be bungee cord to the back of your bike?
Well, it's
when
too
you
hot.
had it.
It's too hot.
It
Zig.
was too
Yeah.
hot.
It's too hot.
It was too hot.
Yep.
Guy, do you realize you're actually dehydrating yourself more by not
Yeah.
wearing all that gear? On top of not having the protection.
Oh, we got Larry on now too. Larry and Vince back.
What's up, Larry?
Larry, what's up, my
Nisman?
brother?
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, I got a jam.
Later, Chris.
Your
Love
DD's
y'all.
here. My DD's almost here.
Love y'all.
I want some double D's.
Love you, brother.
Don't we all?
Good to
Hey.
see you, bro.
Next time I'm going to see you is at Chucky.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you guys are doing Chuckwalla, huh?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hey, we have a call.
June 1st.
Later, dude.
Yes, we're gonna have fun.
Our very first caller.
Coming to the track.
I'm working.
Caller, you're on the air.
So I am.
Hey, how's it
Who am I-
going?
Who am I speaking to?
This is the Great White
Everyone.
Vagina.
You're speaking to Zig,
Yeah.
Mike Alpine, Great White Vagina, and Jordy. Who's this?
It's Vinny.
And Chris,
What's up, Vince?
What's up, Vince?
He says
Boys,
Vinny. Well, see, Vinny,
You're
'cause-
totally out of control.
Yeah.
of course we are.
Me, yeah.
That's why it's called Chaotic Radio. But you know, it's funny that he says Vinny because you know I always give people nicknames, but I've always called him Vince, but Justin, right? Said he called him Vinny. And when I asked him, I said, hey, do you mind if I call you Vinny? He's like, well, I'd rather you not. But now look at that. See, so Justin made it stick. Am I right, Vince?
Hey Zig, what I said is my friends call me Vinny.
Touche, man.
So what is it with you and trying to give people nicknames and they tell you basically fuck off, Zig? Because you did that with somebody else in this room at one point.
You know,
Remember his bass player's nickname.
My friends call me Vinny.
all right, well,
But
we're-
you
Very
can,
nice.
but Zig, you can call me Vince.
You know, funny enough, I did the same thing with him when he tried to call me Jordy for the first time. I got all pissed off, like, don't call me that.
right? So Vin, are you still at the resort?
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
Oh, must be nice.
I got inundated tonight. We pulled in, and I see all these flags around me, American flags, but they all have, instead of the thin blue line running down the center, they have the thin red line. And I said, oh, my God, we're surrounded by firemen. So what is happening for the next few days is the resort is hosting a reunion for retired LA City firefighters.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Cool.
And there is just a ton out of them. So I'm like the only LE in the middle of all of these fire guys. And you know what we are.
Yeah.
To firemen, we're all the guinea pigs. Hey, officer, that looks dangerous up there. Can you go up and see if it's bad? And if we pass out and fall over, the firemen know they need to put on their gas masks and all that stuff. They call us blue canaries.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
So I'm fitting in right with all the people here. I'm fitting in right where I need to fit.
Very nice. So
Sweet.
you're at the Pachanga, right?
Yeah, it's the casino has a RV resort attached to it, which is probably one of the nicer resorts in Southern California, bar none. It's everything is top of the line. If I want to go to the casino, I have a number I call. A shuttle comes to my door, picks
wow.
me up, takes me,
Shit.
brings me back.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that picture of the
yeah,
platform,
it's-
the concrete. That's all super nice.
Sound like you're out
It
wine
is.
tasting. That's kind of what we do when we go to wine country. We have a shuttle van that takes us all different wineries, so we don't have to drive.
Nice.
And that's if I wanted to go wine tasting here, they'll send a limo down.
Oh, wow.
You know, you make the arrangements that they'll pick you up and take you off. So it's got a lot to do down here. So we've just been here for the last 5 days or so.
Sweet.
Some friends have joined us, and they've all now gone their separate ways because they're not like me, retired. So they go to work. And we've added on. We were supposed to pull out tomorrow, but we've added on another day. So
Nice. That's awesome.
So you're basically getting your relaxation in before the summer training hits, and we're going to be out there teaching in 150-degree weather.
well, everything's coming up. July is going to be a very, June and July are going to be very busy for not only myself but obviously Mike.
Yeah.
It's my 30th anniversary, and the wife and I are flying from here on about July 9th. We're going to fly out to Nashville, Tennessee, get a rental car, drive down to the Promised Land, which is Lynchburg, where they have the Jack Daniel's distillery.
Sweet.
Oh,
And
baby.
we're going to take several tours of that over a few days, and then we're going to come back into Nashville, board a plane, go into Roanoke, Virginia, where I am helping to host the annual Yamaha Owners Group convention.
Oh,
Cool.
sweet.
So I'll be there
Nice.
for a week in
That's my old stomping
Roanoke,
grounds,
Virginia.
Roanoke.
And then we're coming back. And then as soon as I step off the plane, it's like, okay, it's into IT training. Yay!
I'm really excited
yeah.
though, Vince. I'm really excited you're going to be part of the team. That makes me put a smile on my face. At least I'll know one other person there. It's
Well,
funny since we have Justin in front of us in a picture, and I was going to say, almost certain I could almost bet money right now that if Justin was still with us, I bet you he'd be taking the training with us because we were talking about it
Well,
prior to everything happening, but we about the right timing.
I'll clue you in on this. Several months back, and this was probably last October, Justin and I were approached and asked if we would like to consider going to the next step. And Justin and I were both supposed to go through the ARC 1, 2, IT, the whole shot together, and that was our plan. And we were high-fiving, yeah, this is going to be great. And obviously, things took a turn, and we all know that it was an ugly turn in life.
Yeah.
And I looked at it at the time, and I said, well, there goes that. And it was a dream that him and I had together that just kind of got shattered in more places than you can imagine. And I had thought about it for a while. And then some opportunities opened up. And they said, hey, you got to come out and you got to do this, that. And I thought about it. Yeah, no. But, I said, he would have wanted me to continue on. He would have wanted to be there. So I just said, let's just do this. And I was really fortunate to be able to jump into this last. It was like a immersion training through the ARC 1 and 2, and then track days, and then an open track day, 4 days in a row. So I was down in Pendleton with Dave Woods, Mike Polero, and a few others, Bianca and all that stuff, just going through some intensive training and getting to this point. And this obviously seems to be the next line in succession. And I looking forward, Mike, I don't know about you, but looking at this, I don't see when the next opportunity will be coming up within this year. From what I learned, this last track clinic that I went to and the open track day was the last one of this year before we go to the PDW.
I've heard the same, so you're right in both counts. Yeah, this is going to be the last chance for the IRC and also the track, which I was really bummed out because, as you guys probably know, I was doing the truck driving championships that same weekend. I was like, man, I was really torn. And I wait all year to do the truck driving championships, but I really wanted to be up on the racetrack with you guys. So it was a
I wanted to be the same thing, but I knew about this, but I'd already booked track day on the 27th down at Streets. And actually, Vince was up at Horse Thief, and so when I went and visited him afterward, after I got done with the track, he's like, "Yeah, I watched you. I seen you down there having some fun."
Oh yeah, but guys, I'll tell you, I was really bummed, because I got up there and it was like, you're just dead tired, Pendleton for 2 days, then you're
man.
track clinic, then you're an open range, and I'm going like, holy God, will I be able to survive this? And you find yourself going, whoa, stop! You can't shut it down now. You need to go for a few more hours. It's just such a fun time, not only learning and advancing, but the comradeship that follows with everything that was going on there. I'll tell you, nothing hits you in the face with so much aplomb as following Nick DeVolt going around turn 5, leaned over as far as you can go, thinking you are all that in a bag of chips, and Lee Park comes in between the two of you, 2 up on Adam Herzing's BMW. I'm going, you just think you're all that in a bag of chips, and this guy just goes by you like you're standing still. It makes you really think
reevaluate life.
Okay, there's another step we need to go to.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what the whole point of
And isn't it great the leader that's teaching everyone is at that level? That just means you get to keep exceeding where you're at.
Yeah, which
That's
makes
what's
you
so awesome.
respect of like, okay, this is the guy that has created the training that we teach, and he actually proves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not only solo, but yes,
With
I
2
mentioned that
people,
earlier with someone on the back of his bike, and he's passing me, and I'm like going, what the heck? You know?
I'll tell you, I learned a lot about Lee in the 2 days I was on that track with him. He's not only one hell of a mentor, he is one heck of a guy. I mean, and I'm not trying to blow smoke anywhere. This guy said, hey, Vince, it looks like you're having fun. How would you like to try? And he offered me to take one of his smaller bikes out there and just slam it around there. I'm going, dude, not only would I love to do it, but I know I'd kill myself doing it. So I kind of bowed out gracefully. But for him to offer his machines up like that, and he was, not a stingy guy at all. Hey, anyone want to take one of my things and go out for a ride and do this and that? Learn a little bit, try something new. It was just such a open environment for learning and improving. And it wasn't like you were, I'm suddenly in the presence of someone famous and beyond my scope of reach. It was like, hey, I'm with this guy, and he's now like my brother, showing me how to do this stuff. It was
Yes,
just
he's excited to want everyone else to learn what his knowledge is. He's excited to share it, and that's what's so awesome.
Right, and he's also built a great team. I mean, the Total Control Training is a great
and
team.
That team is amazing. Getting to ride around. I went out with Nick DeVolt, and he said, hey, Vince, follow me and do what I'm doing and all that stuff. And wow, the learning curve. Allie was down in the paddock area, and she was taking pictures, and she goes, whoa, wait a minute, is that Nick and Vince? And she was kind of impressed because she's going like, whoa, he suddenly started learning how to go a little bit faster and a little bit quicker and all that stuff. And it was just having the ability to tag on with someone that knew that line, that knew what I needed to see. Nick was like watching like something unfold in front of you that you just were waiting for that information to fill your brain.
There you go.
Okay, I get it now. I
The
see
aha
what needs
moment,
to be
yeah.
done. It was just amazing, just absolutely amazing. Such a blast.
Yeah, that's
Him and Ad.
yeah, something you want to do every weekend, right?
Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, that poor R3 is sitting in the garage and it's starting to lose weight because things are coming off and things are going on and things are getting replaced, and it's just all part of the game to get to where I want to have more fun.
Yeah.
So
that's what's
looking
key.
forward to it, and I really wish there were more track clinics coming up. The other day, I was matter of fact, I was talking to Allie about it a few minutes ago. Something came up on Facebook, kind of an algorithm thing, and it said that there was a track clinic coming up, and I was all excited. Oh boy, another track clinic! Oh wait a minute, for last April, that's the one I was at. And
it was like a memory. Yeah.
I know. I was hoping to, but the commitments for the team is too great coming up, so they unfortunately won't be able to. Because I was like, I really was wanting to get, hoping that there were going to be another track clinic, because I wasn't able to attend the last one. But I guess we'll just have to wait till next year. Darn. Well, the PDW Open Day.
It was really nice because this track clinic and then the open track day appealed to everyone from people that have never been through a clinic to people that were world-class professionals. And I'm talking, there were instructors there riding around on that track clinic and the following track day that were instructors for the Yamaha School Champions.
Oh, nice.
Wow, cool. Hey,
Getting to meet them, and they were riding with Lee, and to see that kind of a relationship between, there wasn't like my school's better than your school thing. It's like, hey, your school's great, my school's great. We're going to go to each other's schools, and we're going to. Sorry about the barking dogs.
That's all right.
But watching all of these different cadres of instructors coming together.
Oh, well, that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it was just a blast. It was just a blast. I'm going to kind of move out of dog shot.
Yeah, no worries. Like when Mike Polero went and did the ARC 2, he was a little bit nervous about it. I said, Mike, are you kidding me? I'd give $1 million to go there. You have absolutely every single top level total control training trainer gonna be there. I mean, how can you not learn? I mean, it'd be like overwhelming. I'd be taking notes every 5 minutes because everyone has another tool you can put in your toolbox.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was there and it comes total control.
Well, when I did the
we've all been under the gun. We've all gone through the MTC, IRC, whatever instructor courses that we've been through in the past, and that when you're sitting with the top of the top, they're teaching you. That's all well and good, but when you finally got to get up in front of your peers and do that presentation, and you all know what that line should be, you all know what should be said, and you're going like, they're all looking at me, and if I screw up even one word, it's like totally different when you teach a class, and if you goop up one word, or your click, read, and talk isn't exactly where it needs to be, it's not that much of an alarming thing. But when you're in front of your peers, it's huge. So, yeah, I could see where Mike, I had an opportunity to sit with him and Dave while they were studying for their courses, because I went through the 2 days of Pendleton. They've been there already for I think 4 days before I got there. And they taught the ARC one, and no, they didn't teach the ARC. They did the ARC 2, their first live class. But I was watching them, and kind of every night we'd get together after class and talk about what they were going through. And these guys were under the gun. I mean, it was a lot of studying to do, a lot of work to prepare. And you know how it is.
Yeah.
You want to be the best you can be. You want to do the best shot you can be, and it's nerve-wracking.
Well,
Mike,
it's not a given. I mean, people think that, okay, well, how hard can it be, to be an instructor? You have no idea, because it is a pass or fail.
Yeah.
You can't just go out there and just be like, be all nonchalant about it. It's not like, like they are how nonchalant they're about getting your driver's license, for God's sake. No, this is a very strict curriculum that you have to do it as it is set in stone. You just can't I'll just fling it out there and make it like it's just some nonchalant bullshit. No, this is very to the point, and you need to do it the way it is. It's intended to be delivered. It's and then because it's not like when we're teaching. You get it's not Freight Train's curriculum. It's not George's curriculum. It's not Vinny's curriculum. It's not, Zig's curriculum. It is total control.
I mean,
and it is structured in a certain way that, that helps the learning process. And if you do it the way it is set, your students come along just the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, we don't look at it. I don't think any of us really realizes it when we're teaching the MTC. But these people's lives, their very lives, are pretty much in your hands. You teach them the right way, they've got a chance.
Absolutely.
You teach them the
definitely.
wrong way, it could be absolutely disastrous. So if you really look at it, that is why the licensing for us to be instructors is so strict, because they can't afford mistakes to be made,
Right.
even at the beginner stages.
Yeah.
So
even
yeah,
even
you
more
gotta-
so because
gotta be
you have a clean slate you're starting with, and how what we put into their ingredients is how they're going to be. So like I say, if you're going to stand out there like a pivot cone and just point your fingers, that's what they're going to get. And like I always say, that if I'm going to be out there, I'm going to go 110% because I'm already there.
Yeah.
Why not give 110%, or why be there?
Yeah. And
Well,
like a
you
wise
guys-
man told me, words mean things.
Yes.
The only reason I got into this, really, because I don't have to work. I don't have to make money. I've got a really great retirement. I rode for my department for the majority of my 32 years, and I had a great career. I don't have to do this. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I really like to see people enjoy the sport that has brought me so much to my life. I mean, my entire career was based around riding a motorcycle. And when I could see people reach those new stars in their lives because they're seeing something and doing something that is bringing that fun to their lives where they didn't have it before, that's great. I love doing that. The other thing that I'm in for it is I hate seeing people get hurt on motorcycles. Too many times throughout my career, I had to go and knock on the door and say, you know, I've got bad news to deliver to you, and that just sucks. I've had to do it for people I didn't know, and I've had to do it with the riders that I did know personally, and that even sucked more.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm doing whatever I can do to make it a safer sport. And, you know, we're only reaching a small percentage of it, but even that small percentage is better than nothing being reached.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
you know, I just wish there were more of us out there. When I look at the schools that are saying, hey, you know, do you have someone that could come out and help us out? We're short of body, this and that. In a way, that's a good thing. In a way, it's a bad thing. We don't have enough instructors, but we have enough students that are still coming toward it. Even though sales of motorcycle are declining, we still have people that are clamoring to get that type of instruction so they can go out there and have that kind of fun. So,
Well, you know, actually, and this happened the last time the gas prices went really high.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, motorcycle sales and trading went up. We're going to see
Yeah.
that. We are going to see that. I can guarantee you guys can mark my word on this.
I agree.
Within the next year, I can guarantee you by before 2021, we will actually see at least motorcycles gain 50%. And which is now at the point where we have to really, really encourage proper motorcycle training.
Absolutely.
Because now the thing is, you can now Vince, and you know, because you know you're a ripe age of 35 years old, and so
35
Vince-
years old riding motorcycles for the
So
state,
Vince,
right?
Vince wouldn't have to go to a training course. Okay, he can go into a dealership, maybe never ridden before, and purchase a motorcycle. All right, no big deal. He can go to the DMV and ride a. Say he's going to a dealership. He's going to buy. What is your Yamaha? The 1300, right? Vince?
yeah, the big one, yeah.
Yes, so he's got a 13 Yamaha V-Star. So he can go in and buy a 13, and then let's just say that instead he was going to buy a 250 Ninja. Right? He can go, it doesn't matter, whatever size, but let's say he wants to buy a 250 Ninja. Never ridden before. Is a 250 just as dangerous as a 1300? Yes, it is. Without the proper skill. But he can go into there at 35 years old and not have to worry about the course. He can go to the
And that
DMV.
is-
Say it again?
I said that's so true.
Yes, and so now, because it's only mandatory for anybody under the age of 21. What they need to do is they need to make it mandatory for anybody
To get a license.
who has not gotten it, is not M1 endorsed. Doesn't matter what age you are, you have to take the safety course. It's absolutely mandatory, which is basically just like it is in Europe.
Yeah.
And they have a
I
tier
honestly
thing.
believe that's where it's going, Zig. Before I retired, I used to go to the yearly symposiums for the motorcycle industry, which included law enforcement, medical field, legal field, you name it. All the licensing bodies and powers that would be, and they also had clubs come out, representatives from this and that in the industry, manufacturers, huge symposiums, and we would talk about everything from medical costs, legalities, training, this, that, and this was as far back as 2008, just before I retired. They were talking at that time of the benefits and the advantages of having a tiered license system. So I knew they were looking at it at that time. Tiered license system is what they use in Europe.
Yeah.
You get your first endorsement, you could ride up to a 250, and then after you've done a 250 for a while, you come back, you get additional training, and now you can go up to the next size of bike.
Yeah, like a 300, and then you keep working your way up. Yes.
Yeah, and I really honestly think that's where we're starting to head.
I hope so.
And one of the things that I think that Mike Alpine and I will benefit from is they're looking at actually changing the curriculum for licensing. Right now, you have to go, if you want to go through the licensing process and not have to go and take a riding test, you have to go through the MTC. But I know that they are looking at making the IRC or the ARC's licensing components for somebody that's already been riding, like dirty riders.
Oh,
I
right.
have but I've been riding forever. Why should I go through a beginner's class when I already know how to shift? I already know how to downshift, upshift, take a corner, this and that. Maybe not the right way, but I know how to do all that stuff. Why should I go through all that when I can come through a one-day course and get my licensing requirement taken care of by going through that one-day course?
Now, I get, yeah. So you're saying that, but then we're back to the issue of like, okay, well, I've been riding this long, so that means they're gonna have to go to the DMV and say, like, I've been riding a motorcycle for the past 10 years, dirty, so I haven't had my M1, and so. I guess at that point, which I totally agree with, because it does, even though my personal thing is that when we do the MTC, when I do classroom 1, I always tell the students, say, hey, you know what? This curriculum is based on crawl before you walk, walk before you run. Now, I've never seen a newborn baby be born and then run the 100-yard dash. So we're going to take baby steps. Now, the first part of it is really key to our new riders in this classroom. We are going to get into more advanced technique at the end of range 1, and then also into range 2, in which we also see a lot of people. I mean, Vince, you and I have talked together several times, and we see this stuff, and we do a lot of correction on as far as like bad habits. So my thing is that I think that, they should still have to take the basic course, but I get the whole point of like, well, I've been riding, I don't need to, I want to skip like the first 5 exercises. So do you think that maybe they might make like a mediocre course between the MTC and the IRC? Because remember, in the IRC, there is some very good technique involved in there that I think that even someone who's been riding for 10 years dirty, would still struggle with. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do, and yes, I don't. We've had a lot of students come through our instruction course that have told us, yeah, I'm a dirty rider, and personally, I don't want to know if they've ridden before or not. But even though I know they ride, I look at them and I go, these people really can't ride. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You
they
go, "Oh my
they
God,
just
how
haven't
do you
had any
make it
training, so
down here on the bike without killing yourself." So experience in one's mind and experience in the eyes of a coach are two different things. Some of these people come, yeah, I've ridden a bike for like 10 years. And we all the thing, yeah, you've ridden it 10 years the wrong way. You know?
yeah, yeah, for sure, Vince. So
you
you're
finally get them insight on how to do it the right way, and you can see the eyes light up and all that. So, yes, I agree that would be good. But I think what we're seeing is the push to get to that one-day course for the people that have been caught, because we get a lot of dirty riders, like I said, they get ticketed or.
so stats. What you're totally you're right on, Vince. The stats are saying what is 72% of sport bike riders are not M1 licensed. That's a huge number. So, what Vince is talking about and what they talked about at the last the advisory committee meeting. That's a CMSP meeting, which is happening May 30th in Sacramento. That was hot topic at the last meeting. Towards the end of the meeting, was they were going to look into basically the licensing, to get your DL 389 through the IRC to fit that 72% that had already been riding. To give them an avenue to go to. Yes, is on our wishes, we wish it would start from the bottom and work their way up, but we want to try to find a way to cut the crashes and fatalities. And one way to do that is to put them through the IRC.
Reach a larger audience.
Yeah.
They're trying to reach a larger audience in a quicker pace at a lesser cost.
Right.
So if you look, it's almost like would you rather have a person that went through, took 2 days MTC, it took them 2 days to get through it, they spent all this money and we're not seeing all the other people because they look at it, I ain't doing that 2 days, I've been through it before. Or would you rather capture that person than saying, I ain't doing 2 days, I'd rather only do 1 day, and still get them through some kind of training rather than never being trained at all. Absolutely. And I think that's what we're looking at, just getting them under the watchful eye of an instructor that can say, all right, even in an IRC, they've never gone through an MTC. You know what? You suck doing this. Let's try to fix it. You know what? You still suck. You're a little better, but at least we're pointing out things that you suck at. And now you've got a critical idea of where you could be or not be in your riding career, your riding livelihood. So we suggest you come back and do something else.
Yeah. Well, which is one of the encouragement things that us as instructors, when we finish day 2, is that are you a Jedi yet? No, you're not. Do you? And I will ask my students, do you think I'm a Jedi? Half of them will say like, yeah, I think you are. I'm like, no, you know what? No, I'm not. I strive to be a Jedi. Now look at Anakin. And look at Obi-Wan. Well, Anakin always felt he was ready to be a Jedi, but Anakin kept on saying, no, we need more work. And so and what happened? Anakin rebelled, and he went to the dark side. And so now
he killed all the younglings.
Well, and so now, what do you think would happen if you were as a rider? And you just rebelled. You think you know everything. How well do you think that would go? And it's funny because people most people are Star Wars fans, right?
Wait, I haven't seen episode 3 yet. No spoilers, please.
And it wasn't my fault that Lee decided to put a Yoda on his shoulder, But I ran with it, and it really opened up eyes, and then they're like, wow, no kidding. Because it's when you think you know everything is when it's about ready to bite you. And I keep telling my students, look, one of the things that is great about being an instructor is that it's a requirement. for you to have a learning underneath you in order to keep yourself recertified. So you have to have a learning development to make sure, and then and go to the track days or things like that. To what better way is it than to enhance your skills? And that's one of the things that I see. I see. I'm going to say a lack of. I'm just going to say a stagnant. I think that all instructors really need to push themselves, push that threshold. And that's one of the things that that Dave Bianco has always said. He goes, you need to push that threshold. There's always a threshold. You get to a point, there's a threshold you need to cross. And I've always respected that about him. And that's one of the things that we do is we challenge ourselves, which is like one of the things, like even with like the course that you teach, Vince, is slow ride. That's one of the things that's your own deal. And I tell people, like, it's really it's actually a slight, not way easier, but it's actually a slight bit easier to ride a bike faster than it is slow. When you start riding slow, you're going to be very humbled about how your bike reacts when you're riding really slow.
Well, look at the key phrases we use when we do anything slow in the MTC. So was it easier going faster or slower? And, everyone goes faster. So,
right.
We build into their mindset that stability is created with speed. Well, for a beginner, yeah, that works. But in reality, no, that's not what builds stability.
Yeah,
it's not what
totally agree. I hate that answer.
I think what you got to use is what Lee Parks refers to in his book, Total Control. Being in the beginner's mind all the time, in the beginner's mind, and trying to learn new things and being open to these new things. I mean, I've been riding for, way longer than any of you guys over there in that room, just because I'm older. And
we know, 80 years old. Don't we know?
I was going to say, you've been riding twice my age almost.
Sorry, guys. 32 years as a professional rider.
Yeah, your hours on a bike blow us all out of the water.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but to come back out and do the MTC, the IRC, the ARC, the ARC2 track days, open, the riding clinic, the whole shot. Every time I do something like that, my eyes get opened even more and more and more and more.
And that's huge coming from someone with your stature and experience. That's huge.
You can never know enough. You really can never know enough. And I think Zig kind of touched on it when you get to that Yoda feeling, like I'm Yoda or I'm Anakin or whatever you want to say. I always tell my students, when I think I'm all that in a bag of chips, the keys are going to get hung up for a long time. Mm-hmm. That's when you become in my mind, that's when you become most vulnerable to bad things happening. Statistically, we used to say this with motor officers going through their training. Their most crucial times of their riding career would be the first year as a motor officer, you're more likely to get hit, and about 5 years in is when you're going to get hit again. It's just you start getting too complacent, too used to it, and your guard drops, and all those things that you really need to have focused 100% start to diminish. And that's when you become that statistic that no one wants to be. So continual training always keeps your guard up.
Well, it is a perishable skill, so no matter what your level is, it's still a perishable skill.
Well, and also back to the speed, and Vince, Vince knows I talk about this, when I talk to my students, is that okay? So now, as a drummer, if I'm going to learn a rudiment, I practice it very slow. I'm not trying to practice it fast. So when it comes to speed, there is now, does speed mean fast? And my students be like, well, no. I'm gonna go, you're absolutely correct. Speed is actually a definition of an action. So it could be slow speed, medium speed, fast speed, ludicrous speed, and then I say, or it could be plaid. And then I'm waiting, and I'm waiting for the students to be like, and they're looking at me, and I go, what movie was it? And there's always at least one student like, what movie? Spaceballs! And then I get to laugh, then it's like, okay, very good. Which goes back to breaking the ice and making it, everyone starts going, oh my God, then this is gonna be a fun weekend, But yeah, and so back to the slow ride course. I don't, if I'm not mistaken, Vince, that I don't think there's any exercise over 5 miles per hour. Am I correct?
You're correct.
So, and I'm telling you, and it's very tough. And now I've done it on my CBR. I watch it, and he has his deal marked off.
me too.
I've done it afterward. Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
And
Can't wait to do it again.
I've done some of the exercises on my Y Glide.
Right, we're all supposed to do that.
But
class.
what I want to do is I want to borrow American Mike's Victory.
The gigantic bagger.
When I do take it, I already talked to American Mike. She goes, yeah, you can borrow my bike, and I want to do it on his bike.
Guaranteed, Zig. You do it on America's bike, it's way easier than your sport bike.
Do you think so? Really, huh?
Oh, I know so.
Okay. I'm going to trust your word.
Slow. We were talking about slow. So last weekend, Beth and I were at the Chino Air Show. So it's the Chino PDs all over the place. There's motor officers everywhere. We were walking, and there was 2 motor officers on Beamers idling through the people, just, out safety-wise, just checking on people. They're idling, all right, next to each other, about 3 inches from each other, chatting with each other. And their right hand is on their right leg, and they have one finger over the clutch, and they're trail braking with the rear brake, and they're like almost stopped. And they're just like, I even told Beth, I said, look at that. Look at that. It's like they're walking, but they're actually riding the motorcycles, and they're like just 2 or 3 inches from each other. It's just like amazing you can ride that slow on a 700-pound bike.
Yeah.
Well, plus you also took that course in Anaheim with the
it's called Coppers and Choppers.
Yes.
Nice.
That was great. I went there just to check it out and ended up riding, ended up doing the Top Gun, and it was like, now I know this year like what I want to do. But yeah, that was well put together. But what we talked about when they did the 90-degree turnout, that I probably out of 100 civilian riders, only 10 could do it. And that really struck me all the way back to exercise 20. All right, traffic interaction. What do we have them do in the static? Turns from a stop.
Yeah.
How many actually practice it when they go out there? So I make it a point to make the students practice it at least one time to learn how to turn from a stop, because they need to know, especially after watching 100 civilian riders and only 10 could do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Ophir said when Ophir, when we did the PW last year, he's like, you know how many people on exercise 20 how many instructors I've seen? I've seen one instructor coaching that technique. I'm like, well, I do it. I know I do it. I know Vince does it. I know we at SoCo, we definitely do it. I mean, every single time. And I go, Ophir, you need to come to our site.
It really does. Now, it's, again, Mike, you've been through Slow Ride.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And Mike is found out, and a lot of people after Mike have found out that the crux, actually the biggest thing that we teach that gets you to be successful in all the other things besides the clutch manipulation is that 90-degree pullout. That is, when you can do that properly, everything else falls into place. If you can do a 90-degree pullout, doing a U-turn is simple. All you got to do is just hold the handlebar and don't straighten up until you've gone from 90 to 180. You're good. See you later. Have a nice day. Most of the students, when they're successful in the 90, we just say, okay, don't release the handlebar. And they do their first U-turn. God, I never knew I could do that. But they do. So it's just technique. It's learning things. It's getting into it. It's actually just getting out, riding, and trying something beyond your normal capabilities to see what you are eventually capable of.
Which is
just pushing those limits.
Yeah, crossing the threshold. So, but JJ, so when we do the slow ride, you're going with me.
Okay.
I want to go.
When is it?
We have to figure that out because I'm always working, man. That's the whole thing. I got to get. I have to synchronize with Vince because it's because when Vince does his when Vince is doing the training, I'm teaching on the range right next to him, so I get to watch him do it. You know, but I'm actually teaching on the other range. I mean, I'm just one of those guys. I work 7 days a week.
Guys are interested in seeing some fun stuff. The 25th of this month, the Rialto Police Department is doing, and it's already booked solid, but it's fun to come out and watch. They're doing a Ride to Live program, just like Hawthorne PD does. I'm actually one of the instructors there, and we have 25 students already signed up. They'll be coming out at 8 o'clock to the Sunrise Church in Rialto. And they'll be going through everything that I teach in my slow ride class, but at a much more advanced pace. Unfortunately, you know, they don't have all the time in the world, so they get them in and out usually by about 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the latest. So they get some experience, but they don't get the total proficiency that they need to. That's only brought about by just a lot of time in the saddle. The difference between their school and what I'm doing is mine is probably twice as long, and I charge. Theirs is free, which I think is great of the police department. And kudos to the guys. All the officers that teach the class are now certified MTC instructors.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
Very nice. And, you know, and I've also noticed that because I've watched you teach the slow ride course, your slow ride course, several times. That you know, you are not on a time limit. I mean, I know you like to keep yours within a certain time limit, but I know sometimes when you've had struggling, you know, students, that you've actually extended an exercise a little bit longer to make sure they got that technique down, and which is a great opportunity. Instead of like, you know, them not achieving this in that certain amount of time, you're like, oh no, we're gonna get through this, we're gonna achieve this, and then when they do it, it's just an uplifting feeling with the student.
You know, one thing that you know, we talk about Vince, of course, but we forget about you know, Vince's sidekick, Dave Woods. He's also giving you feedback too, and it's good to hear different feedback.
Yeah,
because each instructor is going to see different things. So it's great having two different sets of eyes on you. It just makes you learn even more. So
yeah.
Right, but like I said, you will extend an exercise if you have some struggling students because you can open up that window.
Yeah, we always do, and it's really fun. Like with Mike's class, his group was doing really well, and to put all of the students in the same exercise at the same
was
time,
so fun, man.
it's like, okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's see how this turns out.
That was that was sweet.
A lot of fun,
that is
and
like,
it built
that
a lot
is
of
by
confidence.
far the it's like a train. Everyone gets in the exercise, and everyone's wheel to wheel following each other.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it is so much fun. It is exhilarating because it's like it to see it as you're in riding it is amazing because either someone's coming out of a turn or entering a turn, and it's just like a ballet of motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's just insane to be in, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, and we wouldn't do that. We really wouldn't put the students into a situation like that if we weren't confident in their capabilities. We could see it, and okay, we knew it. You know, we know a certain moment. Yeah, they're all going to click, and they're all going to be able to pull this off without causing any harm to them. It's just fun to watch that happen because suddenly you're in there doing all that stuff with somebody inches away from you going like, wow, that was amazing. I was able to do that.
And it was ladies and gentlemen of all ages and bikes too. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, from young riders to senior riders, and ladies were even getting in there just winging it around. It was
Yeah, I wish I
awesome.
would have been there that weekend, but I think I was thinking at Larry's site at that weekend when you guys took that. I was
Possibly.
in Camarillo.
But boys and girls, it's gotten to the witching hour. It's about
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yes, so we need to get out of here too, brother. But you know what? Hey, Vince, I really appreciated that you called in, brother. I love you very much.
Same here. You can call me Vin now.
Well, see, now I'm just at Vince.
Hey, real quick, since you have Vince on the line. Hey, Vince, when you talk to your Yamaha people, see if the rumor I'm hearing is true that CHP are leaning towards Yamaha FJR 1300Ps.
It's from what I understand, the bike has been tested. It's done very well in the testing, and the testing is done by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Test all the bikes, and they come out with all the information on it. And that testing result should be available to the general public online in a short time. But from what I understand, it's looking very good for the FJR to be a tool for the CHP.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If
confirming what I'm
go
hearing
away-
from my CHP people. They had one, Jordan and I, we went to the Orange County Traffic Officers motor rodeo, and they had an FJR P down there.
Yeah.
And some of the officers were out riding it as a demo. I mean, it was like full setup with the lights and the whole thing. And they came back with good feedback. Like, wow, that was really way better than we expected. So,
Yeah, they've been using them. There are several cities within Southern California that have been using the FJR for years.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah, Moreno Valley's had them, and then up toward the mid coast, they've had some using them out there. We tried for years to get Yamaha to actually jump into the fray with the FJR. And anytime a manufacturer wants to bring a motorcycle into law enforcement, there are a lot of things to weigh, and one of those things that they have to weigh is liabilities. We know from past experience, if a law enforcement officer goes down on a bike, it's usually because something was done to the bike after they got it, some kind of modification that didn't make it handle the way it was supposed to. Next thing you know, the bike was going down. It was a big crash. It was ugly. This happened years and years and years ago with the KZ1000s when law enforcement officers started putting flashlights around the steering heads and baton holders here and there, and changed a lot of things. So it caused such a big stir because of the lawsuits that were filed. I mean, they've all been, Kawasaki had lawsuits filed against them from law enforcement. Honda had some from in the United Kingdom when they were first using the ST 1300s. They had issues or claimed issues that Honda had to deal with. So Yamaha, being very responsible and very cautious about what they do, just wanted to make sure that they had everything right in the right way before they put the product out there, because they were, like anyone else, concerned with liabilities. So the machine they're putting out there right now is top notch. It's really a fine machine. If there was anything I'd put in comparison to it right off the bat, would be the Kawasaki Concourse.
Yeah.
In my mind, I've ridden both. I've got a Concourse myself, and I like the bike, but I like the FJR a lot too. So
FJRs are nice.
We'll see.
But anyways, thanks for calling in, Vince. So
Yeah, our official first
I
caller.
put the number out there, so I said, well, he put the number out. I might as well call in.
right,
Sweet.
So anyways, dude, enjoy your stay at the Pechanga Resort, dude, and give Mama a kiss for me. And
Yeah, right on, Vince. Be careful. Watch your six.
We love you, brother.
Later,
And
Vince.
don't forget, June 1st, dude. Don't let me down. You need to be at Chucky on June 1st. I'm just saying.
I know. Allie was telling me, she goes, "You going? You going?" I'm going like, "Okay, we'll see what I can do, what I can afford. You know, I got all these things coming up, so we'll see what we can do, Zig. I'd love to be there."
All right, brother. Love you, man.
All right, I love you too, bud.
All right, late. So we'd like to
Bye, guys.
appreciate everybody for tuning in. You know, we love it because Bikerality is the best show that we have on the Zig Zone. So we love the support. We love you guys chiming in. And just remember, keep it shiny side up. Get more training. Remember, you can never be, you can always be a better rider. You never can be a better rider. That would have been like stupid. But you can always be a better rider. And, just look for those courses through Ride Right, through SoCal Motorcycle Training, and learn to ride VC. And we can get you rocking and rolling, and then, of course, expand from there. Everyone else, remember, May, Motorcycle Awareness Month. Look out for the riders. Get off your cell phones. Love everybody. Good night.
Sayonara.